Chewy's going to spot out more of it, and 17. What are you going to do? It's just time to send away. You've got to find some safety. One member on one side, 7-7 on the other.
Xiaowu's just trying to get the hell out of there. This is disaster for 17. Furia does lose a player, but they escape with 3 up, and the position on top of the hill there. Just a little bit late to the party, it looks like, for 17. And that is awful, to say the least. And oh no.
Hammer, nice guy. He's just going to let it go. You know, wait. You always wait for the second vehicle. At this point, you have to assume that there's going to be 2 or 3, and 7-7's like, nah, bro. I'm all by my lonesome. Up to the far north, put my back up against the coast, and this is just where I'm going to live now.
That is the chill guy meme personified right there. Hands in his pocket, just watching him go by. Sharper getting a round of applause from the home crowd fans. The Thai team struggling, but still going to get some support no matter what. Flame a little bit close to all of this in the red zone. He doesn't get in the vehicle there. Him and Orca got a bit of a crossfire going. Sharper driving right into it.
Orca, looks like he is going to be waiting. Spots out the tail end, gets some damage, but no, Escalucia, when it is needed, gets a big knock. The rest of Gen G, though, are chasing this.
They're getting shot in the back a bit, though, so as they try to get there, they're getting harassed. Finally into a position as Bean, though, takes one down, gets lit up.
Genji's got to be so careful. They need points. Tailing in 9 away from that top 5 cut. Sharper firmly pinched between 2 different squads, and it's only a matter of time before Change the Game starts taking some shots, throwing some nades, and there it is. Wimbo gets 1. Ooh. Now spotting out Genji as well.
Ooh, Tosi, lucky to get away with his life there. Looked like he was going to be dead to rights, but this may be the end of the line here for Sharper. That grenade's so good. That's it.
Oh, Sharper just done like that. Problems for Gen G, though. Star-Lord's gotten pretty close. He might want to come and play, too.
Yeah, he's got to be feeling confident after that last game to look and try to punish another team that's threatening on that leaderboard. So if you could do any damage here as Star-Lord, you'd love it. But Bean might have seen him. Yeah, well, now he knows for sure. Shots do ring out from the mini of Star-Lord as he keeps taking shots to try to dissuade anybody from chasing him. He's quite a bit extended from the rest of his team here, so he's got to be careful.
Circle roundup time. Myth has moved into the foothills south of Army Base. Changed the game, just going to be to the south of them. Of course, Gen G to the south of that after relocating. Rock's going to be to the west and kind of south of where they are. You got Yongchun itself, red zone on top of it. Na'Vi playing just on the outskirts. FN playing pretty close with Star-Lord all the way up into those foothills. Azla just to the north. Furia to the east of that. Petrichor Road right on the outskirts of Yongchun and in the foothills itself. And DK kind of spattered across. Spyro's over there. The other 3 members are across the water.
Oh, here we see Xiao Bei. Seen it. No way he hits that last shot. It's a headshot, too. That is filthy. Then the fight broke out. 17 and, you know, and Furia there, and just did not go 17's way. Furia loses a player, but again,
close it back.
Yeah, exactly. They're vibing. Speaking of vibing, that's Namiga's job today. Their vibes all the way through and through. Here comes Posa, like you're talking about. Should be able to drop in there with the rest of the team.
There's some loot around. He might be okay. Another emergency pickup being called, and this is going to be Orchid right on the edge of the zone, but Quizzy is very close to this.
He is. He is awfully close. A little close for comfort if you're an Orchid fan.
They at least set up right. You know, they've got the hill so that way nobody can really jump on them until they're already in the air. It's a lot harder to hit enough damage to get the knock onto somebody with the height and specifically the position that they're playing from.
Oh, Gen G as well. Going to get a revive through. That's good news for them. Quizzy, are you going to go for it, or are you just going to say, it's not worth a few extra bullets to do a little bit of damage? Looks like he's holding his fire and just going to get in his vehicle. Yep, okay, so we're going up for sure on the northern side of the river. A few different ways this circle could go. Pretty likely to leave the northern side, though. So a lot of teams going to be leaning in towards those hills, towards Yongchun.
Talked about it several times already. Those foothills are very, very big. There's a lot of trenches that move down through it. And there comes that opportunistic play style yet again. Gen G tries to get the res, does get it, but Bean goes down.
Oh, this is just so horrific for Gen G. You would never expect this in a million years, but that's been what Namiga has brought to this lobby. It's doing things that you're not ready for. Gedrox catches Flame going up and over the wall.
I love the way that Nemiga plays around res stations, man. They know that people are going to try to get themselves back into a position to fight for the later stage, and they vulture it up. They know that there's a couple of points. Nobody's expecting them to be out in the blue, and they just keep finding it time and time again, man.
I love it, dude. I love that they're taking advantage of that. But Petrichor Road duking it out. Geeke finds 2, Nan and Ming Ming down. Ming Ming did get 1. A good grenade here could change Petrichor Road's destiny, but they're getting shot from afar.
Quizzy, this is just the immediate send across the bridge, so coming into this a bit blind, both sides of it. Petrichor Road, AZ takes a nade to the face, and Petrichor Road just can't seem to keep all of their members up and alive.
Look at Furia. They want to try to get involved in this fight. Chewy is going to claim 1. He's looking for more, but he's got so much to worry about. Can't figure out where they're going to be coming from. Petrichor Road out early in 11th currently.
Big points for Geeke. Also good position in this circle. This gives them the area around Yongchun Fields entirely by themselves. What there's breakers in Yongchun itself. Outside of that, they have room to play. Also, Rex still want to get involved in some of the games of his own right next to Na'Vi.
Dude's a madman. He is just fearless, sometimes to his own demise, but right now trying to get underneath Na'Vi while Zenith and Starlord provide a little bit of identification and cover fire for him. Ares out on an island from the rest of CTG. Tian starting to lean himself into this direction a bit. Orchid settles in, and they're going to get a freebie.
Yeah, change the game. Just kind of Ares caught with his pants down there, and he's just going to try to crawl away, but even that's going to get denied. Orchid in a great position here on center. Has to be careful, though. They do have Myth that might be nipping at their heels.
Oh, there's that knock, Starlord.
Oh, Hakatori of all people, too.
That's the last person you want to lose there is Na'Vi. I mean, you're still in 3rd, but that 94 points that they have does not feel comfortable. It's only 10 to CTG down in 7th, so that is not what you wanted to see early for Na'Vi. FN just doing a great job fanning out, finding the picks, and then just getting off of it.
48 alive moving into Circle 3 is pretty wild. We can see some drop-offs for survivability, but most of our teams now at least getting into the hillside in some fashion. Na'Vi starting to realize that this might not be as safe as they thought. They've got a lot of teams right on top of them. Changed the game. Rock is also kind of encroaching. Of course, FN we saw just a moment ago. Nemiga coming in with an emergency pickup. Curious to see where they land.
Well, just going to center up for now. So still a lot to work with inside of this circle for a lot of the teams who've already gotten themselves into a bit of a position. Worried about Team Liquid on the outside of this. 17 players, they're survivors, still on the outside. Geeke has to get their way in just
stop Nemiga from going the angle, instead going to drop right next to him. It looked like they were eyeing maybe just dropping right on top of him, and somehow 7-7 doesn't get spotted there, I think.
These guys are madmen. I absolutely love it, but Mejores lights him up with the Dragonov. That's Gedrick's down. Nemiga now trying to situate themselves to get these reses. Myth may have a role to play in this if they get a sense of it that they can go for the push, but for now, they're seemingly just holding the line.
Rock's going to have to regroup to the southwest, so with Nemiga's positioning that you were just talking about, Myth pulling away from the potential fight with Orchid. Asla going to be to the east of this. 7-7 spots, hello my bad. He wants a point, and he's going to get it.
Huge points for 17 right now. Looking for another grenade. Knows he lit up Layosh pretty well. Can't quite get him there. They're just coming up a bit short for him, and he might have to just peel off.
Reminder that Zhao is alive. He's just very far to the southeast. He's not even inside the circle. 17 had to separate whenever they just lost that firefight. One went north, one went east. Maybe they will regroup at some point, but 7-7 is going to find him in the center of the circle completely fine.
I have to assume, I don't know where that mortar was intended.
Screw that tree specifically.
Yeah, that tree.
That tree.
Just that one. That was, I thought he would be going for Na'Vi with those mortars, but
oh, this is big.
Again, they get the revives. At least this time there's no Nemiga players around.
You know that they came into this like, okay, where are they at? It's around here somewhere, but no, Nemiga centered up, fine. If anything, seeing them in a firefight has got to make Gen G feel a lot better about these reses.
For sure. I don't know what they're going to be able to get out of it, but There is the edge of Army base that's mostly open other than FaZe. Just has a corner of it with Jeems locking that down on the very northern edge of the current circle. So there is space here for Gen G, actually, whenever that res does come in. Still a couple options for Na'Vi, but they're fanning out. Ferris trying to find space, and he's going to bump into Orchid. Got to be careful.
Na'Vi needs to find some points, and Ferris not really going to find it fast enough. He's going to go down. Boostic spins back around on him, and Na'Vi, this is starting to look pretty scary. 94 points, FN down to 92, and then you get in the pack of the 80s. They cannot go down early here.
Well, they're getting a little bit of help from Orchid at the very least, and they're fending off FN, who was trying to find an opportunity to maybe get in the backside of Na'Vi off that knock, but doing a good job. Arsosidon extends, keeping him alive at a point going over to Myth, so that's going to be one for them. Here comes the last two Gen G players. Where, oh where, are they going to try to land? My guess is Army base, but...
Yeah, get what you can, fast as possible, then just try to get in the circle, but that means that Myth is going to have to deal with it. Myth is very caught up looking at the hillside and the firefights. I think Olympus might not even spot this. FaZe, though, going to be very close to this position as well. Looks like they were eyeing maybe going Army base, cutting in south. Quick exchanges, Orchid, Wimbo, Tian starting to rally up. A bit of a firefight over here, but they've got to be careful. Rock's behind them.
Yeah, they really need these points a little bit cleaner. As you're looking at Wenbo, he knows there's a player nearby that he knocked, so wants to use the grenade to get the flush, and he just rolls it a bit too far. Megore on point. Wenbo's ready for him. Great peek there, but can't find the damage. Megore bets him.
Up on the top of this, though, it's going to be made in Thailand. Good peek, change the game. I have Hangy way back behind this, watching Rock. He can't get too involved. He has to stall out Rock. He has to have time for Wimbo to get rezzed.
Hopefully he can do that for change the game's sake. Biel, ooh, dangerous cross there, but was expecting the grenade. Knew he had to make a move, and that's the wiser decision in the long run.
Ooh, runs, barely gets behind the tree. Megore in a lot of trouble right now, but it's going to get bailed out a little bit by Namiga.
Ferris there, lucky to get away with his life. Ooh, there is a Lynx in play. Diffix has it, and he connected onto Rex on the backside of this circle. Scappy has a chance. Can't get Tian.
3 kills. Is it the start of something big? Middle maps could be massive. On the outside of this team, Liquid is also getting harassed by FaZe. I think that they might be trying to regroup and come in next to Army base where Myth is already waiting. A lot of our squads in this hunt for top 5, finding some very difficult firefights and approaches to the circle.
Yeah, FN leaving breakers to make sure that there's no wide flank from Geeke. Starlord on the other side of it, protecting this revive from Rex. Jeems actually spots out Halo. This is way on the northern side. To Kraken, though, finds Diffix. No more links for him.
Furia still needs to get in the circle. Back behind them is going to be Quizzy, seeing if he can stab, get some kills of his own. But the other members for Geeke are in a lot of trouble. FN Pochon very close. Of course, Na'Vi has vision down this hillside into Furia, into FN, into Geeke, all, and Xiao Wu back behind all of this.
It's going to be a little bit interesting. 7-7 still chilling in the middle. Bye-bye. Spyro just not anticipating that breakers would come from the blue. That's an FN special right there. They love to keep you guessing which direction they're going to be coming from. PWD proning right next to him, though. Is this going to be read by FN?
Slow back down the pace. Listen to shots at range. See if he can get his moment. Multiple members in front of him. Kiss spots out FaZe. They were trying to get ahead of the circle and get ahead of Myth, but Myth reads it well. Kiss finds a kill.
All right, Geeke still trying to contest some space with FN. Na'Vi above all of this, doing a little bit of oversight. Posa finds a nice knock on the hammer with Ozla. So here for Furia, are they going to use that to aggress? Well, after that damage, maybe not.
Oh, Ozla, their own situation next to them, going to commit down onto Furia. 7-7, very close, like you're talking about, not getting involved just quite yet. Furia, though, still has Geeke back behind him. They have to be careful. They still have 17 back behind them, and that's going to be its own set of problems. Maybe Xiao Wu just going to opt into creeping in. FN Pochon has left this position. They've gone to the west. They're instead looking eyes onto Navi's point.
I think that's wise from FN. Sparking, though, claimed by Olympus. They were kind of spread out, trying to take sort of a fight against Gen G. Instead, they're just getting cut down between a couple different teams there. Myth just doing a great job. Purdy Curdy looking for a res, gets it in onto Team Liquid. Luke 12, those two though, stuck in a smoke and in trouble.
Oh, Olympus, how does the nade go? Carr providing some cover, but man, you're just gonna have to send it out of the smokes. They realize this isn't the way to go. Instead, they're gonna go south. Gen G's got 4 members waiting. Shot starting to connect. Purdy Curdy goes down. Team Liquid down to just 1 member. 5th place looking like a dream, but Scappy spots out Gen G.
Great stuff here from Myth. They're being proactive on a lot of different fronts. Orca hits the headshot with the red dot M16, tapping away. Flame is gonna go down. Another point here claimed by Myth. 6 kills in this game, not bad.
Oh, I mean, they want it. They want it bad. This is a good circle for them to play. Lots of kill potential. They've got high ground and a ton of good angles. Luke 12, blue zone, problems in front of them, but it's going to be Tian Tian back behind it all. Change the game, still roaming, still wanting to go for that 5th place themselves.
Now, those are big salvage points for Tian Tian. He's got 3 kills in this one. Sha Wu looking for more. Furious Posa, all on his lonesome, under pressure. There's the grenade from Sha Wu. Will at least get another kill here for 17. They as well doing some great salvaging, sneak back up into 5th place overall.
17 in touching distance of each other in several circles. Just Posa between them, but that means that they've got a crossfire. PWD to the south behind all of it. Posa! Nade's gonna go not quite the right direction, but starting to just see if he can connect. Xiao Wu does have vision on where those nades are landing, feeding it, realizing the fact that it's opening up better angles specifically for Xiao Wu himself.
And now he's been able to essentially regroup with 7-7, who's holding the crossfire angle, but Posa finds a great moment right as Xiao Wu's coming downhill, lights him up, gets the knock. Well done by Posa.
Posa's not done yet. He still has to deal with 7-7. Other side, Posa takes a lot of damage. Blue zone's gonna be on top of him, as well as FN Pochan. They hear this firefight, they know that these squads are weakened, and they're seeing if they can find a way to exploit it.
Yeah, but right now, Asla seems to be content to play a little bit safe. Again, looking for just those placement points, those guaranteed. Breakers actually gets Posa here. 7-7, tag down low. Scappy looking for that angle onto Gustav, and Gustav's like, oh no, I'm just done. Nothing I can do.
Phase down to 1. Myth stacking up more and more kills. They still need a ton just to catch up to Orchid, but now Crossfire is coming out. Scappy manages to weather it, does get away from Gen G. Myth has been taking a lot of shots, a lot of squads, but now has to get into a more vulnerable spot, and those squads want revenge.
I think for now, Myth might want to turn their attention more towards Gen G. You know they're going to be the weaker team than what you're facing on the other side. Scappy, how in the world does he hit that head? Just able to drag it down in time, follows up with a grenade. Doesn't catch though, hits underneath the rock, so Orca doesn't take any damage.
Hal, other side taking shots at Scappy, making it a bit scarier. Gen G realizing threat behind them, probably a bigger problem and change the game. Hanging Tiantan have a beautiful crossfire that they have set up. Myth, other side of it, Kiss finds it. Gonna get more knocks onto Gen G, and they are in a ton of trouble. Hangy, high ground vision galore onto Gen G, just trying to survive.
Tiantian gonna spring into action to make sure these points go over. Last Gen G player at the edge of the smoke taken down by Myth. Myth is on the warpath. Hangy's going down.
They're not done yet. Tiantian gets spotted. He wants some, but no! Myth up to 10. Can the dream continue?
They are frying. I love it. They just got another knock on the Na'Vi. They're not done yet. Na'Vi's trying to fight over on the other side of the circle with Rock, and Myth finds an angle.
That's across the circle. That is big news for Rock. That means that they do not have an easy path, and Scappy is going to usurp the position that Change the Game was playing. Now he is looking at Na'Vi.
Underneath the car, you can see that, Scappy. There you go. Fairest in trouble. Myth Scappy alone has 5 of these kills. Sosa able to keep Santastico at bay. He's flushed out, but it's Kiss.
Kiss finding it all. Rock thought they had an opportunity, but it was just set up by Myth. Myth continuing to find the kills, getting closer and closer. Jumped over Furia, now eyes on DK.
This is madness. Myth is looking for a monster game. They're still getting knocked. 17 goes down, but man, oh man, Glaz falls for Asla. The center circle is on Namiga, but Myth has cleared out everything on the northwest side.
The crowd loves it, but there are still the two beasts in Asla and Amiga alive. FN wants to get in the circle. They've got a ton of crates, providing some cover and a path in after Amiga.
Huge here for FN. They need to get a few extra points out of this. They're already beat up. They're losing players left and right. So they want to try to stabilize, claim what they can. But this looks like Myth's game to win. Ozla's swinging down towards FN. They don't want nothing to do with Myth right now.
Fonte, the last one up, being a big distraction for the rest of the circle. Ozla in that pinch onto FN that you talked about, Rock on the other side, and it feels like everything is lining up for Myth. They have so much control in the circle, nobody wants any part of it, and all of the kills are now starting to happen to the south where Myth doesn't have the best vision.
Well, Zenith alive for FN, but for how much longer? Ozla looking for these flushes, so is Rock. Pretty valuable point to be found there out in the smokes. Howell caught trying to cross to the Rock, does get there.
Myth has realized too many of the firefights are happening out of their vision. Instead, it is time to get mobile. They've started to get vision onto Zenith. He's in some trouble. He's still got Asla right on top of him. Kisses spot out Rock. This is a big opportunity. There are a lot of kills to be had here. Red zone, other side of it. He wants them for himself, though.
He didn't see Zenith there. Zenith, okay, now they spot him. They were patient enough. Red zone now, attention over towards Rock.
Levante just had to give up the circle. He is running after points of his own and runs right into Rock.
Yelp goes down for that. Red zone claims Levante. Ozla really spread out here, completely north to south on the circle. Myth taking control of the western side. Ozla has the east. Solds surely down. A great grenade from Scappy, gets Howell on the north.
That opens up the entirety of the circle. Nobody but Myth inside it right now. Asla realizing they're vulnerable. They're trying to shift to the north. Solds just trapped. There is nowhere for him to go.
15 kills in Myth's pockets already. Looking to stuff their pockets a little bit more. Line those edges. Red zone has a Dragunov there. Olympus sees Solds enough for that hill there, but surely this grenade does the job.
They want the blue zone to claim no one. Myth wants all these points, and they are getting them. Red zone has got into the circle, though. Does he have an angle? He's running right at Kiss.
He's going to take the hillside. He's going to get underneath them, but they know it. They've spotted him. Kiss catches
Done.
him slipping.
Now just down to one. A massive game for Myth. Hammer, the last one up. He is trapped. He is out. Myth, the dream continues.
That is crazy stuff from Myth. Talked about how much we loved how proactive they were being on Erangel, and this was that in spades. I don't know if it's enough, but oh man, it's giving them some hope. And the high five should be coming through, and that's got the fans behind us ecstatic.
You can see the shock, okay? It's a start, but that's all it is. The fans rallying behind them. They want to give them all they've got. Myth, do you have it in you for more is the real question.
I have no idea, but I love what I was seeing there. Great stuff with the Groza from Kiss. Scappy all over the place, finding freebies for his team, clearing space. Brilliant, brilliant maneuvering from Myth.
This was just a crazy set of situations. Namiga, respect where respect's due. Again, making it to later stages, realizing that there were kills to be had to south, assaulting what they could find even as solos as the crowd continues to show their love.
Yeah, some really nice games from Ozla and FN as well to keep themselves up at the top of that leaderboard. So Navi not doing too bad there.
Is it the start of something great is the only question.
Their options seem barren, but this Scappy team won't kiss it goodbye on their climb to Olympus, where Myth can become legends if they continue to play like this. What a game, maybe too late, but not if they do it again.
We counted them out, but yeah, with this 28-point win, they need to do it again.
They got it.
And then they could have a top 5 here. But what a fantastic game. What an exciting game. Also, very difficult game here. This northern side here is obviously a lot of terrain, but be able to accommodate it. So many teams, they're able to eliminate so many of them here. I'll say this, though. I did not expect it and see this coming from it, but that's the only thing you got to do if you got to get into the top 5. If you were bottom 2 at the start of the day, we basically counted them out. But I'll say this. 3 games to go. Are they going to have 1 more game of these and then 2 more decent games?
Okay, hear me out, though. Myth, previously Forest Natural Gaming, has always not been the best on our angle. They seem to do well in these scrappy maps with a little more cover and roll. Maybe the chances we end on the Dusty Dunes is going to be the play for them. But what I did like is that from this moment on, they got aggressive. They went and they pushed. And the thing that I think worked for them is you saw Syntastical and the Rock Boys. They were passive. They were avoiding some of those fights, looking to pick up stuff. A lot of those teams in the end game here kind of had this perspective of, ooh, we just got to preserve our points. We got to hold what we got. Whereas these boys said, you know what? It's that time where we throw caution to the wind and we go all out.
The win of opportunity of getting points where it's like, okay, we got to make sure we get ours here, you know, getting aggressive. But also, the way that everything kind of worked out for them, they did not get third party in their engagement. Like, they were their third parties. They were the aggressors. They were the guys taking the control here. And for me, in this case here, that's exactly, obviously, how you got to play it, because everyone else is, as you say, somewhat passive. We have 7, 8, 9 teams that are fighting for 3 spots effectively.
But I also love that they went through all the heavy hitters. They got Levante off the board. They got Kiss, they got Red Zone off the board. They got Hackatory off the board. They went through, and I mean, I guess it's easy to say they got them off the board when they literally had the lion's share of kills in this lobby. I think when we see this, the final count is going to be 18 kills plus the 10 for first place, which is going to be, might be
I think it's 28
total.
points.
Is it? But I'm saying I think it's the biggest. I know this is the biggest of the final stage.
Yeah.
One of the biggest of the tournament so far.
It is for sure. And again, the 28 points here, if you're bottom 2, I'm looking at another 20-plus point game and then 2 points or 2 games where you get 15. So we're looking at 35 to 40 more points in 3 games. Like, that is massive.
It's not an easy journey.
Absolutely not.
But when they got here today, they were in the bottom 2. The fans still showed up. They still showed them love,
17.
and they were rewarded strongly as they came away with 17 kills, 27 points. As the Pentagram, another team that we wanted to see step up and do some stuff today, walks away with 10, and Namiga still 10 points. But these guys are averaging, I think, somewhere in the 7 or 8 per game right now.
It's insane. As the Pentagram getting these, the 11 points that they got here is going to be the points that are, okay, this is our qualifying game. There's no way, no one, like, we're not going to see 3 teams take over as the Pentagram. Namiga's in there, so Gratz as the Pentagram. How is that changing the lobby when they're playing a little bit different? They didn't play too confident here. It was kind of like, okay, let's try to get as many points. Let's try to get the kills here. Let's try to make the most of it and make ourselves our spot for the grand finals as a Pentagram, right? Amiga, again, the impact that they have on the lobby while still being qualified, that's just terrifying to know. So FN Pochon, massive game for them too.
Another one, big one after the win earlier is the points they desperately need. Let's take a look at the total leaderboard, though. Namiga happily in. As the Pentagram, I think, locked up at this point off the back of that one. But let's take a look at the climb over here. Where did Myth get to? 74 points. They're back in the hunt. It's a long hunt. It's a tough hunt, but it's a hunt.
They are 19 points behind 5th place, so we're looking at they need to put up 20 points on 5th place, and then not have FaZe change the game and Rock get way more than them, right? Like it's looking like it's a tall mountain to climb. It's Everest-sized.
It is an Everest-sized mountain. That said, FaZe has been struggling, changed the game. This is the first time we've seen them put up more than 4 points in a match. Rock, by the same token, has been sort of defensively slipping into the end games. I think those teams really need to re-examine their strategy. As we get ready to Rondo, it's time to sort of readjust and say, there's no more chance to play defensive here. You have to make moves.
And also, let's talk about 5th place, right? We're 3 games deep. We were 77 points when we started the day. We're only 91 now. It's only 14 more points, right? It's been a very low average. So all the teams at that big chase pack here, it is kind of, okay, that's kind of crazy.
All right, so that is the highest scoring single game that we have seen at PGC, which is impressive and at a time when they needed it most. Very, very exciting. And you're right, though, because the middle of the pack has left it to the end, the bottom of the pack has been able to close that gap, making it not a 1, not a 2, not a 3, but a multi-horse race as we close the gap here. And so as the final furlough comes up, what are we looking for?
We're obviously one more wildcard game to go, right? It's a difficult one to do it. I think we're seeing a lot of passive play in that middle pack. And if you take the opportunity to get in and get those points, be a little bit more aggressive than others, and the third-party timing opportunities is the ones you got to be looking out for.
No more playing passive. Whether it's Liquid that you're cheering for or someone else, it's time to put on the big boy boots and get to stomping. Game number 4. Let's get ready to rondo. It's Matchup and Paper Thin.
Halfway through the day, there are still a ton of teams in this competition, but they've got to get to the top 5. Dreams can be dashed here, and I agree with the desk 1,000%. It is time to do it yourself. No more passive play.
Exactly. Buckle up. There's no more breaks on this lobby. You've got to go, and you got to go hard, and Myth just showed you why. Unbelievable stuff. Top point getters for a map in PGC 2025. They did it in style, keeping all 4 up throughout the whole thing. And at the very least, again, giving the home crowd something to cheer for as we go into Rondo. A little bit southern on this plane path, kind of going east to west, and could be a little tricky if you wanted to get up a little bit further north.
I mean, Myth almost doubled their points in one game.
That's bananas, dude. At this stage, when you're at match 15 and you're doing that stuff.
Well, we knew that this squad could do it. Where has this been? What's been going on? We know that whenever they get into a firefight, they can absolutely unload. And they can get kills in unpredictable positions. We saw a lot of early game aggression for them to get them to this point. And then it's just been lacking through the entirety up until now.
Better late than never, as they say. So let's see if Myth can keep it up. Not a terribly bad circle for them, all things considered. We're going to have Gen.G and Rock there ahead of them, but just a little bit on the outside looking in. And Jadina going to be a little bit of a bridge further for Sharper. CTG not too far out either. Of course, Test Track going to be split between 17 and Na'Vi. Furia, Petrichor Road, FN, nice and centered up-ish. So we'll have to just wait and see how this one shakes out. A lot of stuff can happen on these circles on Rondo in this part of the map, so still hard to say exactly where it's going to go. Scappy going to be your man of the match for Made in Thailand. Fantastic work. He was all over the map there. He was that point guy who was opening up those fights for Myth and breaking things through.
Levante. I mean, still a decision maker at the end. Jumping into firefights, realizing that Myth had control over that. These guys, they read the game so well and just how it's being stacked up and set up. Back behind them, Asla, of course, feeling pretty comfortable. But then, oh, God, it gets crazy. FN, 100 points. Na'Vi, 4 points behind that. Then down into 17. That's our present top 5, but just 2 points behind. FaZe changed the game, who's been trying to be active in the earlier stages of the games, changing up their own game to see if they can get into the top 5. Rock just back behind that. Gen.G, Team Liquid. Myth now finally back behind that with Petrichor Road. Crazy.
Absolutely. All right, well, we do have an interview here with Spyro. Let's hear what the Geek Star has to say.
Вчера нам повезло в первой игре с зонами, и мы заработали 15 очков. Это дало очень огромный буст для остальных 5 карт, хотя мы сыграли всего 3 из 6 вчера. Остальные 3 мы сыграли в 0. Сегодня, я считаю, нам не очень везло с зонами. Во второй игре, где нам повезло, нас просто закрашбайтили. Я думаю, что уверенность у всех осталась так же, как и она была после первого дня. Все понимают, что сегодня мы не дожали свои игры и понимаем, где мы это сделали. И очень сильно не везло в некоторых моментах. Поэтому сейчас сделаем упор на анализ, на разбор, придем в отель, сделаем разбор и будем с такой же уверенностью начинать третий день, как начали первый.
Crazy set of situations that we're looking at, jumping right into Rock and Petrichor Road on top of each other. Gen.G very close. This is jockeying for position pretty close to the center of the circle and just an overall good compound, but that's made it a bit scary for the defenders in Petrichor Road. Other side, Panzerfaust going to connect right through the doorway.
Yeah, this is always the danger.
Oh, AZ.
AZ is the danger. He is thwarting Rock right now. as they wanted to maybe try to backfill on it on Petrichor Road in this spot, hoping that they had maybe rotated out, but instead, Petrichor Road is still taking their time, tagging up souls a bit, but so far.
Cars, are they going to jump on the backside of this as well? Tosi spots out everybody just trying to get out. Rock in a lot of trouble.
They're getting out, but they're getting into it, and they're paying the price. Sold's trying to dodge Gen G fire, runs right into Petrichor Road players, and things going awfully awry for Rock.
17 next to Furia, just roaming through an area that they might not want to be in. Gen G behind this has to be careful because Na'Vi has gotten in vehicles right back behind them. So while they were trying to be the hunters, they might very quickly become the hunted.
Bean with just a mutant here. So Gen G cut the loot a little bit early to go for this third party, but they might be getting flanked. Flame able to just barely get out. Oh boy, that was close.
I think that whenever we saw the Gen G player in the car, Orca, crest the hill, he spotted Na'Vi up on top of the rock, fed that over and said, nope, this isn't safe anymore. It's time to go more centered. Oh, RBN. And a lot of trouble over here, and of course,
oh, no.
Gonna be next to Myth.
Oh no, this is the absolute last team you want to bump into, other than Namiga. Those two teams right now with the way they're playing, you want no part of that, and that's going to cut off a revive station potentially, and not that he could have got the chips yet anyway, but
I got to give this man some respect as well. We talk a lot about Kiss and the performances that he's had, how great he is as a fantasy pick and all that other stuff. But Scappy, man. Scappy just clutching a big way for his squad. Arctics, though, spots out Spiro. Oh! That's going to be up on top. PWD says, nah, man.
That is some nasty shooting from the glider. Bailing his teammate out a little bit, and Orchid going to have to stall up to go for the res. Got to try to protect this from that glider still, too. This is Geekay thinking about maybe flexing out a bit. They're outside of the compound, but not going for it just yet. Speaking of gliders, Baron as well. Going to be living up to his name, trying to replicate what the World War I ace could and get some kills.
We've seen Myth get some very big games on this map. The middle maps have done them some favors in the past. Can they do it yet again? They've got a good read on position, pretty safe. Up to the north, we still have FaZe, Namiga, and Change the Game, all not yet inside the safe zone. Team Liquid has found themselves somewhere pretty far to the north and going to be close to Furia and 17 both.
Well, things going to maybe calm down here for a moment. It just kind of depends on some of the teams that are still way outside of this, like Change the Game, like Namiga, like FaZe. Rock's RBN just trying to figure out somehow, some way to maybe get his teammates back in action or salvage some points. That hit. Not a headshot, but ooh.
Boostic. All right, well, you win the better, that side of it. He's got to retreat. GK, they're setting up some solid defense here.
Yeah, they are. Having that glider around them really works a treat. So you can see why so many teams, especially on this map, keen to get those gliders into the air ASAP, and players have gotten pretty darn good about shooting out of them, as well as Gedrox, Namiga, just chilling, just outside, wandering around, just looking for anybody. They might be hunting FaZe, I don't know.
This is going to be FaZe to the north of them yet again. Looks like they're trying to get bridge controls. James is going to be to the more eastern bridge. The other members of FaZe might run right down into Hello My Bad. Again, any small bit of damage you can do to a squad that you don't want to deal with in the early stages just has massive ramifications the longer and longer it goes on. And we've seen that. Namiga doesn't go for the squad wipe whenever they're going for those res stations. They just want to kill.
Yep.
They just want something out of it, and they're going to put you back off your game right as soon as you think that you're getting everything back together.
But that denial gives you a lot. Obviously, screwing a team over, great. You love that. You get a few extra points, great. You love that. But it also potentially opens up space in front of you, because that's the angle that team's coming from. So you know that there's just a little bit of extra room in front of you potentially to kind of work with. So a lot of those things factor into Namiga's play.
Namiga has gotten in their cars, and it's going to be a bit ahead of what's going on with FaZe. There is the EMP right on top of them. But I think that's because Levante has spotted out James. They are cutting very hard to the east. James is going to be coming after Levante, but no. Instead, everybody from Namiga is hopping in their vehicles, and this is going to be very narrow, but FaZe should be fine for now.
So much of this is going to come down to FaZe's scouting and some of the timings potentially on when they actually get a glimpse of the Namiga players. Oh, my bad, just driving right at James. Okay, he pulled up, James. Oh, boy.
James.
Oh, the EM.
He doesn't
Oh,
know.
no.
Yeah, the timing for this is just bad on like 16 different levels. Gedrox has to be careful. Gustav and Fex behind this might be in some trouble for Gedrox, but instead, James just going to go more south. There are multiple members for Nemiga over there. Circle does go pretty centered up around Myth and Gen G both. James, there's nowhere to go. Somebody's going to bump into you sooner or later, and the jousting going to be enough for James to stay alive. But again, it is Nemiga trying to throw FaZe off their game.
I think they might have got.
They're chasing.
They're just going. They want FaZe out of this event. They've been hunting them in these middle maps. They were hunting them on Tego. Now they're doing it again. This is just a grudge match here between EMEA teams up in the sky, but tough shots to hit.
And Hello My Bad is actually wrapping behind the entirety of FaZe. If they are not careful, they might find somebody still chasing after them. Nemiga now eyes on the circle. New problem though. Team Liquid has been a bit slow into this circle, and it's going to be Nemiga and FaZe rolling right up next to them at roughly the same time. They're being gate kept out by Furia though.
Oslo loses a player to FN's wide spread. FN's got to be careful. Orchid behind him. Tuscaloosa seeing Tian Tian in the air, says, get away. I don't want to deal with any of you. EK has Scappy in trouble.
EK's been playing solid at the start of this round already. Big problems. Myth, too many different threats approaching. 2 members down. Big problems for Myth, who cannot relent.
I don't think now you're going to be able to recreate the magic from the previous game, especially with Scappy going down here. Oh, poor Myth. Looked like they were in a good spot in this circle, but too many teams also thinking the same thing.
It's just the way it can go. I mean, this circle's pretty open. Yeah, you still have Yulin in it, but to the south, there's just a couple of really good compounds, and instead you find yourself getting mixed up. Team Liquid about to get mixed up next to change the game right on the edge of the zone, and I think that Team Liquid was thinking about stopping before going into the circle right here. Alo's gonna get spotted, doesn't go down, tries to get some damage back, but Ares is gonna get the better of it.
Oh, let's see if Team Liquid can regroup and get themselves a good game going here, but no! It's another player down. Wenbo gets one.
While this is happening, FaZe and Amiga are back in a firefight as well, so big fights happening multiple areas. Team Liquid, Luke 12 needs to stay alive. He needs to get points. Change the game on the other side of it. Hangy goes for some peeks around, just trying to get the flushes. Luke 12 gets the information though.
Well, he tried to throw the stun, but Hangy able to dodge it. Gonna retry that same angle from the air.
Furia.
That's Furia. Oh, Tian, he's getting out. He's trying to be the paratrooper, but he's shot right out of the air. Oh, Luke.
Slow rolling up on top, but does he know how many people are still after him? Furia knows that the fight is done. They want to deal with Team Liquid. Luke by himself in the blue zone. Everybody else just down, crawling for him, hoping for reses.
Oh, poor Luke. He did such a great job in that fight, but the grenades are going to at least flush one. Can Luke do any more? He's just driving away, but he is beat up, and he is on 6 HP.
Too many members of Furia around. No safety to be had. Team Liquid goes down. Up into the north, Nemiga does massive amount of damage to FaZe. FaZe now down to just 1 member. It did cost Nemiga 2, though.
That's not great for FaZe, to be honest. Maybe they can get the revives, but Furia, again, this is what the name of the game is here today. Be proactive. No, Leosh is going right at Vard.
Oh, can Vard hold it? No, he's going to go down. FaZe eliminated. Nemiga wants them gone and gets it.
I am heartbroken for FaZe, but you can't fault Nemiga. They have, like we said at the beginning of the day, they have the opportunity to be the kingmakers, and they've decided that they want FaZe out of their throne room.
Middle maps providing potential. FaZe down, changed the game down, Rock down to just 1. Team Liquid out. Now it's all the guys, the bottom half of the leaderboard. Opportunity abounds. Those in the top 5, can you get distance on those that are hunting after you? 17 in a great spot already, but they are going to spot out Petrichor Road roaming right in between Gen G.
Yeah, they're trying to put some shots into Petrichor Road, but not much connecting, so the containers in the center gonna be where Petrichor finds a home briefly. Diffix goes down to Baron, sole survivor for Myth. Didn't claim the point because he's got more pressure underneath. Feels like he has to play a little bit more defense. Again, go big or go home. Go for all these kills, my guy.
You need everything that you can get. 1 or 2 points could be the difference maker, and Baron trying to be the difference maker himself. Tries to connect the utility. He knows where the shifts are coming. He's just gonna jump down, bold in the face, but this little bit of a wall being a problem. Baron on the other side of it can't get the angles that he wants. There's just nothing to be set up. Spyro on the other side gets some damage. Baron connects. He does get the knock. Baron not done yet.
PWD rolling in, though. Is Baron going to have enough time to deal with this? He is going to peel off once again, at least claim these points. Wise to position himself to cut off the angles there to at least secure those couple of flushes. Baron playing this extremely well.
GK was ahead of Myth going into that last game, and instead getting picked apart, and Myth finding some needed points in what was a bad game. But Red Zone, of all players, has spotted Baron.
Oh, this is so sad. Would have loved to see him get the free 1v1 there against PWD. But instead, Red Zone knows he can find more points and no reason not to. Sharper over there. There goes PWD. Actually, Red Zone claims him, so Baron here going to be offered an opportunity to maybe just make a rotate away out of this.
Yeah, but so many members for ASLA are set up around the outskirts of this. Baron still has to rotate. Let's not forget, good old RBN still alive. He's got to get himself into the circle and could be pretty close to Baron of all people.
I love this. Baron there could have gone for a flush, just could have gone for the one and done. Instead, plays it out to try to maximize his points because he absolutely has to. Stellar.
In the circle itself, 17, great position. Centered up, Yulin that they're working with. Northeast, Furia. Circle stays on top of 17. Petrichor Road. Na'Vi right on the edge of it next to Gen.G. Behind them, Sharper. Asla to the south. Has to look eyes towards Gen.G or maybe more to the west. Presently looking at Evan Pochon as well as Orchid, both who need to get into the circle. Orchid with a couple of better options given the fact that they're already so close to Yulin. And let's not forget about good old Levante up to the north.
Good news for FaZe is right now, none of the teams that were super close to them on the leaderboard are catching up.
Two members of Namiga just, I believe, are trying to jump
revived.
their way in right at the wrong time. Orchid's going to spot that.
They're just probably dead. Oh no, this Panzer could be Duma. Goes too high. He's still able to get the kills. Na'Vi combined with 17 wiped the floor with Petrichor.
Na'Vi needed points. They've been on a slide. That is big for them. Gets them into the circle as well. Sharper, eyes to the north, looking at Furia's position. Asla still needs to get to the zone. It's going to be Gen.G trying to hold them out. Baron creeping forward, eyes on RBN ahead of him. The solo, easy pickings.
Huge. He gives him a little like, fist bump. I love it. Let him know. Play to the crowd, my guy. 17 knows they've got players in here. Doesn't want to give them too much opportunity to get looted. And 7-7 is going to get Gedrox on his knees. Hello, my bad, in there with an AK, running around.
Getting anything that he can find. I don't care. I do not care what it is. He just wants it. Does have the bridge that he can maybe go for a res, but I feel like that's bait. Little Ghost might be just waiting for him to reveal himself. Instead, just plays the more open side. Has to be careful. Orchid, though, not yet inside of Yulin itself. Orchid, though, has to be problem. Levante back behind them now.
Orchid's found themselves having to deal with a couple teams on that northern edge, Furia and Levante from Namiga, so they can't get involved in this fight like they maybe would want to, seeing those kills.
It's just whatever you can pick up, man. Give me armor, give me a helmet, give me something.
It's not much.
I mean, at least that Levante can keep an eye on Orchid and let anybody on his squad know if anybody's coming in from the north.
Look how many first aids Baron has.
This little Ghost spots out Gedrox, so.
Baron actually, who knows, might be able to get back into the circle eventually. He's pretty far off screen, but have to wait and see. Oh, red zone. That's a P90, and that's Star-Lord down. Is there anything FN? FN's got a pretty good crossfire, but the rest of ASLA is putting pressure on this to make sure they can get this point.
They're just chasing after Zenith, who did stop. Multiple members for ASLA now getting different firing lines onto Zenith. He's in some trouble. Breakers doesn't have good vision, and neither does Rex. This is an awkward spot of this hillside that Rex doesn't have the best vision to work around.
Oh, Howell gets a headshot into Breakers too, so that continues the opportunity here for the rest of the team to make pushes uphill. Now Zenith had gotten the hell out of there. They're still gonna maybe see him in that blue though, and Breakers as well, starting to get tickled by it, so things going awry.
Circle goes to the north, longer for Baron that he has to run, but closer for Levante. 17 right on the edge, hearing these firefight going on between Asla and FN, both now starting to set up more of a defensive perimeter around their positioning. Jinji's got to get in the circle from the south. Navi might be trying to gatekeep out what's going to be going on with Sharper, maybe even Baron, both. Fury to the northeast feeling pretty fine, but Orchid finally slowing everything back down as Asla knows that this circle is going to be hard to go for, so instead it's better to just go after FN.
All top 5 teams still in this, all with 3 or more players alive. So talked a little bit earlier about how FaZe maybe not feeling too bad about going out early, but actually it could be very bad if all of these top 5 teams get through this deep into the game. Although Asla very much on the outside looking in, FN as well, gonna have to hoof it to try to get through. The funny thing is there's a little bit of open space kind of because of Amiga. It's kept 17 tunneled on different ends of the circle.
So if FN does go east, like you're talking about, they're going to bump into Amiga. If they go further north, they're going to bump into Orchid. Jinji, it's time to just send it, man. There aren't any options, so are you eyeing west? I don't think so. Instead, just north, hoping the fact that what was going on with Asla is going to be enough of a distraction, but instead 17 was already waiting, expecting somebody to come over here. Little bit of air going to be caught by Jinji. Other members do look like they managed to make it in safe, but they've run right into the middle. It's a crossfire that 17 has.
Yeah, they're trying to jump up and over the walls instead.
Oh!
It's just the end of them. Logo, Xiaobei, Xiaowu gonna combine to give themselves a bunch of needy kills. Here comes Asla. What in the world?
Just sends it in. Howl, Red Zone combined to get a quick flush. Glass down, but it is going to come at some damage onto Red Zone. 17, not expecting the other side of this to happen so fast.
Howl knows there's a player over there, looking to see if he can catch him peeking.
Red Zone.
Red Zone trying to use that P90, and he can't. Shut down by Xiaowu.
2 members for 17 still up. Howl, other side of this. We've seen Howl clutch some big games. He's on res duty right now. Red Zone gonna go down. Molotov, I think just a bit short. 17 wants to secure defense, but FN heard this firefight, and there's an opportunity to get in the circle for them.
Yeah, they're just like, all right, you guys fight. We're going to go ahead and go the other direction, right up the gut of the city. Levante still being an absolute menace out on the outer edge, gets Lurix as Rex looks for the fight. He looks for the grenades, saw Howl, opted to go for the other side. Glass got revived somehow. Howl still doing damage.
Just throwing in nades where they spot him. 17 goes down. Asla puts in the work, but FN getting the reward.
This is madness. Poor 17 did such a good job on a couple of those fights, but it just took too long to clean out Asla, and FN's just like, thank you very much. Look at how much space they have. They don't know it, but they've got all the room in the world to get to the eastern edge of Yulin.
So look, now we've got second, we've got 5th down. What is the next closest team that's still alive? Myth.
Oh my word, Baron's still in this. I told you, he's got a bunch of those first aids, so he was able to get in here. So we see what happened to poor Petrichor Road. Slammed into Na'Vi, and Xiaowu's up on the roof and collecting some points for himself. So not a bad game for 17. Gonna get some kills at the very least. So we jump back over to Rex, who, unbelievable how good he is.
Hackatory down, easily picked up. FN's gonna have a long walk ahead of him. Baron's gonna be running behind Na'Vi, using this distraction to try to see if he can sneak into the circle. Fury is in a beautiful position. They've got so much control on everything coming out of Yulin. Orchid right in the middle of the circle. Could have to deal with Sharper on one side and Levante on the other side of it. Levante, though, taking the shots over at Posa, could open up more of the circle, but it's all about what's going on in Yulin. Sharper, Orchid getting vision on each other, and Namiga, having looted some, has an opportunity to get into the circle themselves.
Mogori might have those 2 rezzed players from Namiga to deal with. They're right underneath him. He's trying to be that anchor position. Are they going to be ready? He's going to back the Blanc up towards the rock. Gedrox, I think he got one of the FN players with that MP5, so if Orca's kind of keeping track of everything, they should realize there's another team in the mix inside. Obviously, you want to deal with Sharper quick, but Sharper has the advantage in terms of the circle side, and hello, my bad. A little bit of damage to Megore.
Hey, an AK, if that's all you got, can work pretty close range. Earth has gone more aggressive into the circle, hearing that firefight behind it all, and hello, my bad, does take down Megore. Made in Thailand finally going to get eliminated as well. It's going to be Furious Gizera, of course, with the vision that they have. Namiga can you get into this circle? It's just going to be Orchid ahead of you. Levante getting more vision as Posa has retreated.
This is going to be huge. Getting a little bit of extra stuff for Gedrox. Oh no, he steps a bit too far and Boostic punishes. Jedi?
Oh, but Sharper, they want to punish Orchid themselves. Boostic Arctics just clinging to life over here as now Navi has gotten in the circle and FN poach on to the south as well.
Yeah, this is looking great for FN and Navi in terms of really solidifying their spots in that top 5. Namiga just...
Do they have any meds at all?
Well, there might be some on the bodies of the Orchid players. That's maybe their only hope here. Rex under barrage. Breaker's trying to respond, but gets hit by Extend, so has to back off a bit. Extend's looking for the long range one. Not sure that's going to connect on anybody. Oh, Breakers does scoop up that P90 though.
Levante has gotten close enough in this firefight to now involve himself. Boostic does spot him though, so now it feels like Namiga, who was bullying FaZe so early in this one, cannot find a clean angle into the circle. Gedrock's just going to have to fight his way in all by his lonesome. Neuron nothing to work with. Instead, the blue can just have me. Furia, so much control of the circle, and Navi is actually running aggressively into Sharper's face.
Yeah, they got to get into some safety to keep themselves protected. It will be Breakers cleaned up by Earth. And I like what Navi's doing here. You know you're probably not going to win this game. Furia's looking good. So is Sharper. But Rex is going to spot somebody out. He's still in the bushes. Earth is like, I know you're over there. Let me say hello.
Yeah, everybody wants a piece of Sharper right now, and they just want to get a foothold inside the circle. So said, gonna spot out Jedi, and there's just no clean angle. Oh my God, look at this gatekeeping coming up from So said. M249, but Escalusia does get the knock. Opportunity to get into the circle. Also, looks like Orchid could be setting up, but Furia, perfect in positioning, but all the fighting happening away from him.
Yeah, Furia just gonna have to hold the line and hope that they get a player or two out of position and able to find some kills, but it's just a bit of damage. Posa popping some shots. Here comes Boostic.
Here's this, but he just can't get involved yet. He wants somebody to peek. Arctics did spot Exclusion just a second ago. Outside of this, Furia just continuing to rain down bullets, making sure to make everybody's life that much harder just in the thick of it all. Boostic runs around, but Jedi does take him down. 2 members for Sharper still up. Arctics on the other side does spot out Earth. Hits a couple of shots, and it's going to be all she wrote for Orchid.
It's actually Rex there. Got the knock onto Earth, so he was in a crossfire. Jedi alive, but ticking down to a blue zone grenade with the blue close to follow.
Biggest beneficiary of all of this is Furia at 75 points is going to put them back potentially into that 80s mix. Rex still alive right on top of Sharper. Just trying to see if he can steal a point or two. Jedi looks like he might be going for the res, and that's going to put him in a pretty vulnerable spot as Rex is going to go ahead and flush this one out. Now that he knows he's close enough, Rex is going to pick up yet another point for himself. He's up to 111 for FN in that 3rd place position.
That's massive value for Rex. That cannot be understated, what he's doing in this game for his team. Yes, he's not going to win it, but good God, did he make the most of it.
Got into the later stages, getting some breathing room away from everybody that's in the hunt, found below him for those top 5, but Furia putting themselves back into striking distance of top 5 themselves.
Yeah, big win for them. Able to play it quiet because of all the attention that Yulin garnered. Just scrappy stuff here. You're seeing every time there's a fight in the early part of the game that there's going to be 1, 2, 3 teams looking to try to third party at everyone, trying to find their moment to get those points where they so desperately need them with only 2 more maps to go.
Oh, and on Miramar, where we know it can get brutal. It can get down in the dirt, in the dust. It can get absolutely scrappy over there for everyone. This is just, how much more do you have left in the tank? What can you do whenever it all matters the most?
Exactly, that's what we're looking for. Who's going to step up on Miramar, make those dusty dunes bloody for us, and give us a show. 5 teams. That's all that makes it to the grand finals, Matt.
And while we were hyping a lot of what was going on the outside of this, again, it cannot be understated how big of a game this is for that squad right there. They just have to continue on Miramar with 2 games left.
you have to tell a story today. It's about the teams who have struggled, stepping up and saying we deserve to be here. Whether or not it gets us to the top 5, we want to put up a good showing. This still is PGC, the biggest event of the year. Furia comes out, takes home a win, a big one for Brazil, and a good game. Great positioning, not a lot of pressure against them, handled well.
Yeah, for sure. 14th place going into this one, though. They would need record-breaking games in the last two to make it into that top 5, but still have an impact for the rest of the teams playing. And as we saw in the 3 prior games to this, a lot of teams playing it too passive, too slow, too cautious, because they're too afraid to get those engagements. There's still so many teams in that run that potentially, but FN Pochon getting a bit of points here now. They're going to break that 110 points and be ever close to that 130. That's going to basically guarantee them that top 5.
I think that's the big thing for me on FN Pochon. You're right. A lot of the teams in the top seem to be pulling their attack. They're stacking the defense. They're holding the line as hard as they can, whereas teams like FN Pochon came in and said, you know what? We're pulling out all the stops. We're taking the goalie out of this one, and we're going as aggressively forward as we can, and that is what's paying off. The one downside, again, as we see Furia playing out the end game here, is that those teams where we keep saying they've got to have a big one, they've got to have a big one, all of those teams are having one big one, but they don't seem to be able to put together the second. And that's what you have to do if you want to close that gap from the bottom. 4 games are done. As we watch the end of these highlights, it got a little bit crazy here inside of the red zone, or inside of the Monastery. Red zone put in some good numbers. Aslan 17 battling it out. 17, who has been on the cusp all day, had to do well on this fight.
They got some good engagement. Got some good kills there. I think they got on 6 or 7 kills total. Got some placement points too. That's huge for them, obviously. And kind of solidifying themselves in the top 5 right now, but it's a soft defense. It's soft cover for that bottom 5 round. They're going to be moving to Miramar, and the 2 best, well, 3 best teams if we include Amiga, the 2 best teams out besides Amiga is actually Liquid and Na'Vi. So Na'Vi now, they've been a little bit more slower, kind of cautious throughout, right? But now we get to their map, the map that they usually dominate on.
And I hope that they do, because Na'Vi has been a little worrying for me today. It's been a little less hackatory, a little more lackatory in the first bunch of the games. This one he turned back on, started to put up some numbers. And if they come out, as you said, better on Miramar, you need them to do so. Even with one of their players feeling under the weather, Na'Vi is a team I expect to see in the grand final.
This game, I feel like there was a little bit of a misplay, right? They had that kind of outside radar station or whatever it is on the east side. Hackatory started running towards Din, and then it's like, okay, just died off. There's 3 teams that had cover on it, or like angles on him. He died in the open. They could have played it, on the east side, or played towards Furia, tried to on a different engagement here. Didn't get a lot of points total. Got 7. It's still some, but Furia with 19 points here. FN Pochon with 11, and Sharper with 10.
And again, Namiga continues to find points on the board.
And that's Pentagram too, also there. Now with this game, they're safe. Congrats to them going into the grand finals next weekend.
I think it also speaks really well for them as they look at the grand finals. These 2 teams, because at the end of the day, the top 5 here are the bottom 5 there, if you really think about that in the context. These 2 have come out and said, we're consistent, we don't give up, we don't play too defensive, this is our game, we're ready to go to the finals.
We played 4 games today, a crazy stat for you. No one inside the top 9 has won a game today. It's been 10th, 14th, and 15th.
Wow.
That is crazy.
It's amazing what a little desperation will do for you. Here's the overall leaderboard. Amiga Asla advanced. FN Pochon jumps up to 3rd place, sitting at 111 off of another big game. Na'Vi does manage to get up to 4. 17 hanging on by the skin of their teeth as FaZe change the game and Rock continue to try to chase them down. Liquid's still kind of in that hunt, but they got to have that big game.
Yeah, 14 points behind 17 points behind Na'Vi is Team Liquid, right? Rock's in there, changed the game also kind of.
Well, and Furia, who wasn't even in the hunt a minute ago. I mean, it's only 19 points for them to make it to the 5.
Yeah, but they would have to pass Gen G, Team Liquid, Rock, changed the game, FaZe Scan, and 17.
I'm just saying, there are now 3 or 4 teams who weren't even in that but they have to conversation that now are.
Let's count Petrichor Road and Myth and Maiden Thailand as well. Like, two wins.
Yeah,
you're in.
It's true. Two wins and you're in. Okay. Now, I will say, I think based on some of the play that we've been seeing, we can write off a few teams on the bottom potentially, but you're right. With only 2 matches left, it is going to be a 2-win scenario for some of these teams, but most importantly, I think we're looking at, would you say Liquid or Rock in terms of where the real chase is going on right now? Or do you even write Rock out of that?
Let's count in Liquid just based on them having crazy good stats in Miramar.
Based on us needing at least one more America's team in the grand final for the amount of people that we've sent to this.
You wish.
We need more than just the Falcons. I do wish very hard that we see a glow up there. But it has. It's been a fascinating day that has revolved a lot around the bottom teams showing up here. Unfortunately,
that changes on Miramar, I'm telling you.
It's also an 18-game series. Like, you needed to have done this a while ago.
You can't. We were talking about it yesterday. Yesterday was the time for you to build your foundation so you can step up on that foundation today and secure your top 5.
Who will secure the top 5? That's all that matters as we look forward to the grand finals. This is PGC 2025, last day of the last stage. Don't go anywhere. We're back right after this.
Fueled by the same passion as esports athletes, Zowie continuously develops tailored products, empowering gamers to bring their best out. Today, we are launching the all-new XL2566X Plus, which uses the newly developed Fast TN panel and upgraded Diac2 technology. The new monitor series continue to evolve, refining details to ensure players can perform their best consistently in games.
Stay focused.
Hello, PUBG and PUBG Mobile fans. Thanks to your passionate, unwavering support, we've been able to grow tremendously on the battlegrounds of PUBG and PUBG Mobile. To give back to our fans, even in a small way, and to present you with a brand new experience of the #1 Battle Royale, we are bringing together PUBG and PUBG Mobile and uniting them under one stage, PUBG United, launching in 2025. PUBG United's journey begins in Siam District, Bangkok, where the tournament will be held this November. Around Siam Paragon and across the city, you'll discover PUBG experiences that you can't take your eyes off. You can also experience the PUBG United Fan Zone, where you will find booths dedicated to PUBG and PGC, as well as PUBG Mobile and PMGC. There will also be special collaboration pop-ups with global brands. A variety of PUBG-themed events and hands-on activities are waiting for fans to enjoy to the fullest, so be ready. For online fans, a special website will open, bringing together every moment of PGC and PMGC so you can enjoy PUBG United anytime, anywhere. For the first time in esports history, PUBG Global Championship and PUBG Mobile Global Championship will unite on a single stage. Starting with a grand opening ceremony on a massive scale, Each day brings new and exciting moments. With that energy building up, the intense grand finals of PGC and PMGC will come together for the first time in history on one united stage. On this one-of-a-kind stage, the world's top players will battle in back-to-back grand finals, offering an experience like never before. One world, two champions coming together in a truly historic moment. November 24th to December 14th in Bangkok, Thailand. Come and experience PUBG United to the fullest. We will continue striving to be a PUBG and PUBG Mobile that never stops working hard for our fans. Thank you.
Good games for the guys that are in the top 5, making it into the later stages, but that just means that those in the hunt, still in the hunt for top 5. We didn't see a breakaway, even though Namiga really feels like they're trying to punish FaZe and get them out of this. The way the leaderboard fell, it's not done yet.
Not by a long shot. I mean, it is 5 teams that have crested that 100-point mark, so that's kind of where you're looking at right now. Is FaZe going to be 7 points behind that, I believe, in 6. So they've got work to do, and they've got to avoid Namiga. They've got to find a way to keep those guys off of their backs.
Well, how many times have we talked about this? When you end up at the top of the leaderboard with a ton of points, you get the ability to do whatever you want to the lobby. Namiga is one of the first squads we've seen in a really long time trying to do that, realizing, hey, no love lost in EU right now. FaZe, you're a problem for us, and we don't think that we want you to have to deal with it anymore.
Precisely.
Go.
Yeah, why not? All right, let's get into it. Miramar, 2 more maps to close out the last stage and find out who will be going to the grand finals of PGC 2025. A lot on the line, but the top 5, like you were talking about, they've separated themselves a little bit.
But there's so much still left to play. We've already seen it with Myth. A big game can always happen in a very eastern set southern plane path. Could make it to where everybody's going to have to be playing into secondary or tertiary drops.
Yeah, I mean, for a team like Myth, you're going to need back-to-back just absolute barn burners to have any hope. A lot of those teams in that position now towards the bottom half of the leaderboard where Miramar has to be huge. There's no other way around it at this point.
And it can provide. It can be the map that gives you the comeback. We've seen it time again. We were talking about it earlier with FaZe. You know, this is where it kind of started with the comeback kings in FaZe making it into the last stage off of this map.
Exactly. I mean, this is kind of just where FaZe magic tends to happen. Namiga going to be way away from him this time, so the good news for FaZe, you're fine. At least in that regard.
Ish, you're just now next to Sharper, Rock, and 17. That's not the best, but at least something. As a new situation brewing between Hangy and one of the members for Na'Vi, I believe, over there. It looks like going for a car, but nothing to really work with just yet. Oh, hey, we're not southwest. Instead, we're southeast this time.
Yep, this is looking good for FN to continue their run today to make sure they get into the grand finals. They're looking pretty solid. It's nothing confirmed, but definitely got to be feeling good. If you're a PWS fan with the way Ozla and FN have performed, you'd love to see Gen G get involved somehow, some way, but they're one of those teams that's down there. They're at 84 points, so they're sitting 16 out of 5th place.
Namiga's having to do some trash looting. That's put them pretty close to Furia. It's going Azahar. We've seen some shenanigans coming out from Namiga a couple of times here. Furia is a bit lower on the leaderboard, so not likely the target, and instead, it's just going to be a matter of how Namiga wants to deal. And to the north of Namiga, though, is Myth, with probably the longest rotate out of anybody, but that means more potential points in front of you than anybody else.
Hey, you know what? Let me just say this. If you're Myth, you're hoping that Nemiga gets into it with Furia and you can just swoop in, grab some of those points on your way into that first circle.
And if you're a FaZe fan, you're hoping that happens too, because somehow Nemiga will find FaZe.
For sure, man of the match going to go over to Gizera.
And to confirm, we don't know for certain if Nemiga is going after FaZe. It's just been 2 games in a row that
it just looked a little
sus. And
yeah,
this
a little
is a squad
sus.
that we know that puts in some homework.
Exactly. They can do whatever they want. That's the thrill.
Trying to get wiring set up for Levante.
Yeah, man. Like I said, he's got all the time in the world.
Yeah, no rush on them.
Nope. Little bit of
Was that a Gen G? Just
a warning shot.
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah, but this is getting a little scary.
But does Gen G know how many people are actually close to them there? I don't know.
Gen G needs points is the thing. So Orca often that scouter, that tip of the spear for Gen G, and he's got breakers
Yeah.
right next to him. I think he might be getting breakers for free.
FN. I mean, but it is also breakers too.
True.
So could be dicey one side or the other. This is an early setup, so loot's not the best. You can see it's an AK with 90 rounds and a shotty just going into this, but shotty close range can be big. Breakers, you pick the wrong side, it's a problem. Star-Lord, though, getting close enough to provide some support. Orca, if you want this, you got to get it quick.
They at least know that Gen G's somewhere in the vicinity. Just no clue that Orca's gotten here, I suspect. And not
It's a
much
strong
to work
spot in
with.
the circle, too. I
Yeah.
mean, Los Leones is most of the circle to the north, and then we move down into the mines area, and the squads that are in the mines on the leaderboard, maybe it'll provide.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the resort area has had magnets on it in some of these circles, so that's why you're seeing a lot of these teams jockeying for these positions quickly. Petrichor Road already up in an emergency pickup, so they're going to be trying to get into some of these central locations too. CTG on the move.
And everybody wants to get centered to the south, realizing that it's probably going to lean this resort side. FaZe just run right through Sharper, and they're actually running very close to Asla and the other side of FN.
I guess Breakers is just content. Oh no!
Oh, no.
Oh no! Oh,
he's
God.
inside the
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Fine, it's fine.
Is it?
I got baited by X-Ray for a moment. But here's what I was talking about with FaZe. Not a lot of options, so you've just got to make what you want happen. Hal's going to take some damage to the vehicle, but that's going to be about it. He should be fine. Other side, Orca's patience going to have to pay off. This is a big commitment. Breaker's now finally out of the building. Gets spotted. Does connect enough to get the knock.
Yeah, Breakers there. Was thinking window. And Orca.
Star-Lord's so close. Does he want any of this? No, it doesn't look like he does.
No, at this point is FN. Probably better safe than sorry here.
It's FaZe that's shooting at Star-Lord, so Star-Lord can't go after any form of defense here. He's now kind of trapped as FaZe are just roaming more south in this.
Yeah, they're being really proactive here. They want to get into this circle and get dug in. They want to get deep into a game.
This is great timing for FaZe. It's just one of those PUBG moments where you just seem to time it absolutely right. And we've got Baron with an interview to hear how that massive game went.
All right, and now we're with Baron from Myth. Yay! ตอนนี้ก็อยู่กับน้องบาเลนนะคะจาก Myth นั่นเองนะคะต้องบอกว่าแมตช์ที่ 15 สุดมากโหดมากก็คือสามารถทำคิวได้ถึง 17 คิวแล้วก็คะแนนรวมถึง 27 คะแนนเลยคือต้องบอกว่ามันเป็นก้าวที่ค่อนข้างใหญ่สำหรับ Myth เลยเนาะก็เลยอยากถามว่ามันเกิดอะไรขึ้นอะไรคือจุดเปลี่ยนสำคัญสำหรับการระเบิดฟอร์มในครั้งนี้
เราต้องการคิวครับเพราะว่าคะแนนก็ตอนแรกก็อยู่อันดับ 16 เลยต้องการคิวเยอะมากครับ
โอเคก็เลยทำให้แบบเราพุชตัวเองเยอะ
ใช่แล้วก็แก้กันมาเยอะมากครับ
โอเคนะคะ so I just asked him that on match 15 he just made the team just made 17 kills and 27 points in one game so that's insane and that's a huge step for Myth and what sparked this massive breakthrough for him today so the team need kills they need to step from the 16 scoreboard, the leaderboards right there to be on top. So that's why they need skill and they just do a lot of adjustment for that match. All right, แล้วก็มาสำหรับช่วงนี้เราก็สู้กันต่อแล้วกันนะจ๊ะสำหรับถัดไป Okay, let's hear from it.
Need kills, but they are in an emergency pickup going right over the firefight that we said was a potential opportunity to find a lot of them.
Yep, they're going to go for the circle instead, and that actually probably is going to work out for them. Furia, they know that Levante's up here. He was shooting at him with a 2x on a bolt, and they're just going to try to cut him off a little bit. Are they going to be there in time?
Issue is it's also Levante. Once you take those shots, he's going to spin it back around on you pretty fast. He's very isolated, like you were talking about. The other members for Nemiga coming up back behind him. He can at least feed some information over to them. It looks like that's kind of cooled down a bit. Levante should have enough distance ahead of Furia to feel fine. Furia, though, they want points. They need him in a big way. So close to that top 5.
Yeah, they are at least in spitting distance, but it's big games that are needed here. You are so far out of it at this point, and you only have 2 more maps to garner those points, and you got to hope that the teams around that 5th place cutoff aren't the ones getting ahead of you. Now, you're going to see a lot here as Myth.
Where do you cut, man? They're passing Los Leones. That's the safer option. A lot of high buildings provide some safety. Team Liquid was the only squad in there. You can go coastline, but that's going to put you next to Petrichor Road. There's not a lot of good options in cutting late, but that's what everybody wants. They want the late positioning.
Yeah, they want to be underneath Los Leones. They want to be out in the fights. They need those kills. Extends, sees Luke 12. Another team that needs points, needs kills is Team Liquid. They are struggling here today.
Nemiga just needs loot. Anything that they can find. Myth does cut. They're high in coastline. I think below them should be fine, so they're going to swoop in.
Oh,
this
no.
area, but Evan Pochon has spotted them, finally taking those shots. FaZe also getting a piece. Myth needs to land safe, and they managed to do it.
Ooh. That was a little scary, but they're going to get through unscathed, essentially. A little bit of damage done here and there, but nothing critical. And FN already losing a player early. Only 2 players available for defense at the resort. This is going to be tricky.
There's 2 squads that need big points, and FN is caught between them. FaZe one side to the north, Myth down to the south. FaZe 4 members up in a circle, feeling good, finally away from everything that Nemiga has been throwing at them. This has got to be a big game for them. They know that the next game, they're probably going to be hunted yet again.
For sure. The opportunity here for FaZe. Looking okay. It's still phase 1, so a lot of time to go. As Furia caught up in the blue, of course. They trail away from Nemiga. Yeah, there's the knock.
Big.
That's huge if they can get that point.
Just 7 away, 17 ahead of them on the leaderboard. Far west, other side of Asla. Between them all, circle pops, and it does stay to the south. Keeps Los Leones in, and of course keeps Resort. But a lot more space over to the east than I think a lot of these teams were expecting.
I'll change the game. Another team that we should be talking about is in the hunt, as they're in 7th. Going to be feeling okay with that circle, but they're in that wide 2-2 split they like to run center. And, you know, with the way this lobby's been going, I don't feel great about it, to be honest. Everything has been very proactive for these teams. They're looking for those kills. They're looking for those crashes onto those compounds where they can get the numbers advantage.
Navi has been on a bit of a slide. FN has jumped over them, and now 17, just 3 points behind. 17 trying to get in the circle. Looks like they're just going to take the road, be a bit more bold on it. That's going to put them pretty close to Starlord and Jinji both. A couple of shots coming out from Starlord are going to stop 17 in their rotate, and RBN coming up back behind Sharper. It's going to look like a long northern wrap coming up from Sharper, and instead Rock eyeing a bit more into Los Leones, the southern section of it.
Yeah, they've got that area with the warehouses in front of them potentially. I like this idea from Sharper. You know there's not going to be a lot of teams that are going to want to go northeast of Los Leones, so there should be some space there. It's just a matter of timing at this point. Are they going to bump into Nemiga? Are they going to bump into Furia? How's that going to go for them? Bottom of the leaderboard, Pride to play for sure. So they're going to make the best of it and try to make the smart rotate.
While we look around what's going on with Resort, FaZe to the north of it has bumped into some of Gen G, so they know the threat that's going to be above them on one side. Still just so quiet. That's just because of the way that this is set. It kind of just goes on this pretty steep slope down into the positionings right along the beach to the south. And so when we look around Resort, it's a bit isolated. Nobody really having to get close enough to become danger threat for anybody that's involved. FaZe is going to be the closest one to that, but I mean, it's just on FN. They're kind of trapped here.
Yeah, revive for Gedrock, so he's got tons of free space, and the Nemiga boys are following right behind. They know that that's going to be available. Spyro really close to Lurix.
This is a 2-2 split from Orchid. pretty good for now as long as they can keep support onto each other. The issue is it's going to be on the firing line. Other side coming out from Arctics. He's got to defend Lurex, but he just doesn't have clean vision. Please gets a knock on to Diptex. That's going to be enough, and the difference maker to allow them to get by. F and Pochon does not like how dangerous it is playing on this point. They're going to run ahead, but it's going to be Gustav that spots out Scappy.
Oh, Rex out by the crate there. Not sure if that was intentional, stopping there, but didn't seem to have much of a choice. Oh, players dropping. Scappy gone for Myth.
Resort not going the way that really Myth wanted it. They were trying to chase after what was going on with FN. FN squeaks by, but that's going to put them very close to Jinji.
Well, this is just going from bad to worse in the mines. Yeah, that's where FN's going to be digging, trying to just salvage whatever they can out of this. I mean, if you're lucky and the circle just goes there, you can hunker down and maybe get some placement points.
Oh, Fury's called an emergency pickup. They're going to try to leapfrog over it all. Sharper, though, just trying to get in a better position in the circle. Namiga consistently setting up traps, waiting. Nade doesn't go the way that they wanted it to, but that's going to reveal that something's going on over here. Leosh behind it all, though. Gonna be able to just wreck Sharper.
What a spray there for Leosh. That last bullet hits Earth's head. That's almost unfair, and they're taking down more.
Sharper at the bottom of the leaderboard going against the guys at the top. Thunder's wing and a prayer, no way to go, hoping that maybe he can at least get a knock, get a res, but Namiga just wants none of it.
They're too good. They just so well executed, and a round of applause, I think, for both Sharper and Namiga. Namiga deserving. Revive station now under Myth's control, so they're going to get Scappy back. Hopefully.
Furia now doing their emergency pickup. Yes.
Star-Lord.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Rock doesn't know.
No.
Oh!
No.
No! Star-Lord!
Oh, no.
At least we don't have to see the ragdoll fall from the height, and that would have been just the ultimate disrespect. Rock's just like, what was this?
Why? Why are you here? Why are you doing this? I'll just say that maybe Star-Lord isn't used to the ace. I'll give him that.
17 in that 5th place position.
Oh, no, no, no!
Getting way too close to Furia. Flips a car at a bad point. That's problems for 17. What do you do? High ground above it. Furia doesn't have the best angles, but they can just drop nades on top of them.
Yep, they're well within grenade range. Oh, they get lucky. They go on by. That angle steep enough that the grenades are going to bounce a little bit further than you expect. Some air bursts are close.
Somehow staying alive. The other side of 17, pretty safe at least, but the longer this goes on, Jinji might want to get involved, change the game, has spotted the other side of 17, not taking the shots just quite yet.
He's a bit afraid, I think, because of Furia's position to go for it. Opts for discretion, maybe the wiser part of the Valor equation. And they have a couple players still pretty split over that road, too, so it's real dangerous. You're hoping that there's knocks and that you can just go for the quick flushes.
FaZe sending it in the circle. Jinji is going to be distracted, taking shots at them. Zenith, other side of this one, playing inside the mines. It looks like FaZe might be eyeing similar. They just had to stop. It was too risky to keep going, but that puts them right into Jinji's sightline. FaZe in a lot of trouble. 2 members down. Bard got to continue on his merry way, and it's going to be to the mines they go. Zenith, you're about to get some company.
Oh, boy. How ready is Zenith? He's just running. He's hiding. And that's about the only play he can really make, as FaZe going to be ready and aware. Wenbo tagging up Orca. Orca is going to claim a point there for Gen G. They can still do something. They can still shoot for that top 5. Oh, no.
They're separating. That's the worst thing that they could do. Zenith does at least pick up one, but he has to run. Position revealed. Are we going to see FaZe hunting behind it? And yeah, Gustav spots him out, gets another point, and stays alive.
By the skin of their teeth, FaZe continue on.
Reminder that
that
was the other member with Gustav from FaZe that got flushed out. It was Fex outside that was slowly bleeding out, finally getting picked up, and it's going to be Chewy that gets him. With the way New Circle has set, changed the game in a great spot. Hearing the fact that FaZe has gone down, they're at 92 points, and they are very centered.
A couple of battles brewing on the outside of the next circle. It's going to be Geeke and Namiga and Ozla and Petrichor Road. Ozla seems content to try to do some damage from afar initially to Petrichor Road, looking for that knock, looking for that moment. try to make a strike or just bypass potentially. That's what Myth is going to opt to do. Bypass.
Oh, is
boy.
it to the mines as well?
Well,
looks like they're going to stop just before it.
okay. I mean, they probably suspect Gustav is in here based on what happened. Here goes the push. Some grenades are out, some damage done. Glaz thought about the Panzer. Red Zone trying to cut the corner, but a grenade right at his feet. Oh, he just gets out of there.
Outside the zone. Asla doesn't want this too bad, but Petrichor Road, this is a big game for them. They're at 79 points, 21 away from getting into that top 5. They cannot go down early. Chewy on the outside does spot out Hal. Oh, Panzerfaust does knock Red Zone. That spins this on its head.
Oh, poor Glaz there. Hit his teammate with it, and he's going to pay the price. AZ's like, thank you very much. You guys are collapsing. And a great reposition there by Chewy to find that flank angle onto Asla. So Hammer alone, Gen.G in trouble. They're losing players left and right. Orca and Bean, the last 2 up. 17 in the vicinity. Myth as well.
17 trying to regroup. Gen.G in a lot of trouble. Myth walking up, 2 kills. Can they make it more? Can they ruin 17 here? It doesn't feel good for them. They're going to retreat from that angle, but that's just going to put him back down in the lower section. Orca still on top of him. 17 still on top of him. Hammer goes down. Petrichor Road finding some much-needed points. Jumps ahead of Myth.
Yeah, Orca and Bean pretty far apart. About 100 meters between the 2 of them. As the crow flies. And grenades up top at Liquid. Furia now. Their top ground position being challenged. Purdy Curdy backed off. A good grenade from Zakraken. Hits Alo.
Cooks it in the right spot. Na'Vi is close to this, but they're playing the lower side of the hill. They don't have vision on it. It is contained for now. Kurt was trying to watch what was going on with Na'Vi, but he just has to regroup with his boys. Luke 12 runs down right on top of Alo's crate, and this has just gotten scarier and scarier by the moment. Team Liquid cannot go down early. Furia, any points they can find would be massive. These guys are neck and neck on the leaderboard.
Now, the longer this fight takes for Liquid, maybe the worse it gets. Sparking just arriving from the blue. They're going to have to take an odd man fight and hope that Na'Vi doesn't want to get involved, but I think all eyes need to be towards Fury here for Liquid. Just try to win this fight. Try to keep your tournament hopes alive.
The mines and the hills above it have been providing a lot for a lot of squads, but 17 now going to be the gatekeepers of it all. Gen.G hopped in vehicles. They're going to be wrapping behind all of this. Does mean the fact that Myth might have a better option to go after 17, but still down in the mines themselves is Gustav.
Well, Myth is in a tricky spot. They've got to make a move, and they've got a couple big teams around them, CTG and 17. Scappy thinking about it. He's gotten here undetected. Just, is he going to be able to capitalize on it? The grenades are out. Are they going to be far enough? Oh, the first one a little short. The second a little off to the side. So Furia, happy feet, keeping themselves in play. Gen.G still underneath this. Are they going to try to third party this fight?
Just a ton of utility being thrown over the smokes. The Kraken, Furia spots out Kurt, who is down. That's going to just put him down on his knees as well. Posa, other side, spots out Luke 12, gets him, sparking the last one up. A hope and a dream, trying to stay alive. That dream might happen because Gen.G is coming up back behind, and they are going to backstab Furia.
They've got 2 M249s, they're putting them to damn good use. Liquid is going to go down, though. Kawazine wraps the rock, finds Sparking, but that's opened the door for Gen.G.
They are just racking up all of these kills over here. Kawazine just has to run. Gen.G now has the high ground. Na'Vi, other side. Kawazine knows he's in trouble.
Now there's just nowhere for him to go. If he goes towards Na'Vi, he's just dead to rights, yeah. Hakatori's going to say thank you. That's a freebie. Gen.G needs to peel back in the other direction. Meanwhile, CTG has lost a player to Souls from Rock. They're making the push. They're making the explosions around them, too.
Changed the game, 92 points. Gen.G, 89. Rock tied up with them at the time. Any knocks, any kills they can get could be big. Change the game, though. Hanging on the outside, seeing if he can get a peek angle. No, Rock reads it well, but there is a cluster of teams all on top of this. Petrichor Road now getting involved as well.
Here we go. The Panzer out for AZ. The grenade barrage begins onto them. CTG does fall here, but Santastico already knocked by Chewy. AZ swinging in. Petrichor Road claiming houses.
This compound could decide a lot as everybody's falling. Myth chasing in back behind Petrichor Road. This could be big kills for them, but no, they all fall down too fast. Rock stays alive, keeps it clean.
Oh, but Myth has an opportunity, and they might as well go for it. They could take Rock out. They know there's not many of them left alive.
Rock's at 97 points, 8 kills, and continuing to run. Big game for them, but Made in Thailand, they are on the hunt. They want to try to get in touching distance of top 5.
Oh, but here comes Orchid. They've set up a firing line on the outside of this, and Baron trying to find the angle, does connect the headshot, but this has given Rock time to get their res through and try to get these first aids in. Made in Thailand now trying to fight battles on a couple fronts. There's a phase player in the mix.
Finding kills when needed. Kiss down. Counter push is coming out. 17 gonna do to Myth what Myth was trying to do to everybody inside those compounds. Gustav, I think, also just kind of in the thick of all of this. Crossfire onto Myth coming in from Orchid. 17 the other side of it. Baron isolated right up on top of Rock.
Oh, what a grenade from Mejores to get it up that hill. Scappy has to step down, try to get a res, and they're just thwarting every attempt Myth is trying to make. Oh my God, Baron, how are you still alive? Doing a little do-si-do. Solds gets him.
Finally finishes that one out on this side. Gustav still right on top of the Myth members. It's gonna be Olympus isolated, alone. No real ways to work around it. And then Gustav on top of the other members for Myth. When he go for res, Orchid realizes points ahead of them. They're just gonna charge. The smoke wall is gonna be enough to give them cover across the road.
Oh, Gustav had to come to life,
Uh-oh.
but that's great for Myth. He's got a good angle, and he's going to find the knock. Well timed there. Beat up on top of 17, gets 2.
Big plays. Gustav followed the shadows, gets the shots, but FaZe does go down. This is just everybody falling on the wayside. Myth somehow staying alive. Rock still with 2 members up, supervising what's going on to the south.
Oh, this is crazy stuff for Myth right now. They're just trying to keep it together, and they're still claiming lives, but the bad news is Rock is as well. They're 5 points out of that 5th place cutoff line is 17. Still alive, a grenade from Solds right into Scappy.
Just clinging to life. Field takes a ton of damage. He has to step away from the angle. 17, here's this firefight. Navi's been forcing them more and more to the south. R17 also going to get involved. Arctic's just limping his way into the circle. Still has to deal with, of course, the looming threat of Navi and Amiga both.
Oh, this is worst case scenario here for Rock, who wants to climb in, but with Navi and 17 still very much in this circle, still very much in play, they're gonna have to make the most of this opportunity here on the edge.
Rock can touch up to 90 point. All right, get up to 17's positioning if they can stay alive. Namiga, this is what they're roaming around with. But back behind this, Myth, they can touch 90. This is a big game for them. Namiga still on the roam. On the outside of this is going to spart out Arctics. He goes down. That's more placement points. Myth going to opt into taking the push right now. Sold sees it, doesn't get the knock.
Oh, Kiss so lucky to get away with his life there and trying to point blank, but Sold says no. AUG in hand, looking for Scappy. Scappy throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this. They need these kills.
A firefight that can turn everything on its head. Solds goes down. Myth finds it. The climb continues, but no! It's Namiga with a BRDM. They hear the firefight and Myth in trouble.
Doom comes. It's Namiga potentially, and now right away, the re-knock onto Olympus. Now Navi has found an angle down on top of this. Kiss trying to do something, but he took too much damage. The blue sends him packing. Looks like there's a shotgun in hand here for Scappy. He's saying, well, if they're gonna come in here, I'm gonna make the most of it. And there's some points going over to Namiga. Scappy thinking about the revive.
He's just gotta commit. He's gotta be as quiet as possible. Namiga, they're just playing for whatever they want to do right now. 10 kills already, they've stacked, and you just taken away from the rest of this lobby. 17's got to figure out what they're going to do. Scappy on the outside spots. He's got the shot. He does get a knock. Gets the point as well. Myth continuing to get more. But Levante, he just takes the BRDM right on top of Olympus.
Oh, poor Olympus there.
17!
Oh, they just slam in. They want these points. Still, though, that BRDM not going to be easy to contend with. They're pinned against the hillside by it, trying to get inside, but Scappy only one bullet left in the shotgun.
Navi hears the firefight, realized everything's going on over here. They're running down to this position as well. This compound is deciding so much. Scappy alive, gets the peek on a little ghost.
Oh my God, Scappy, is he good for one more? No, 7-7 holds on.
And now it is Namiga with one member up, 17 with 2, and Navi on the high ground, in control of the circle, and Levante just punishing everything that 17 can do. Jumps out, he goes down, but extends, hits the Panzerfaust. Only one remaining, and Navi looks like they've got this one on lock.
Yeah, that's the end of it. Na'Vi there, gonna be gifted a little bit of a nice win there at the very end of the game because everybody needed those points at that compound and they were just absolutely sending it. Wild scenes here in Bangkok.
What?
My word.
What was that compound? Everything, everybody running in, and it feels like that could be the difference maker for so many squads. That compound decides so much.
It did, and credit to Myth, man. They are doing their absolute everything. They are leaving it all out on the battlegrounds today. My God, what a fun game.
Just consistently on the climb, time and time again. Na'Vi, it's been pretty quiet for them today. They had control of the circle. I feel bad because they had everything. They controlled the circle perfectly. Everybody else was not allowed to get into it, but that meant that the firefight happened so far away from them. They had to run in last moment, but they still had the control and they get the win.
Extends with a red dot, can't be stopped as Na'Vi rises to the top and takes home a very important chicken dinner at a very important time.
And, you know, the times where you've already qualified and have fun with the BRDM, being on the receiving end is not fun for that, but Levante made the most out of that. What a fantastic end game, though, here. I'll say this, just out there. Again, this case here, FaZe actually had quite the opportunity, but they got absolutely lambasted here. Na'Vi had and held on to Los Leones for such a long time. That southern side, then both getting up on the ridges, they had so much control.
The problem is there's just too many hungry boys in this middle pack, right? Like every time a fight broke out, there was a third and a fourth and a fifth party saying, oh, those are the points that I need to get to the grand final, and showing up to look for the fights. I will say, I want to give a shout to Rock in this game. They kind of pulled what Myth did in the last one, got a bunch of good kills, held into a very tough spot for a very long time. Myth also out there getting everything they could.
I was saying, when we started Miramar, the consistent teams are going to get consistent points. I said Na'Vi, I said Liquid as well. Liquid didn't do it, but Na'Vi did. Nemiga, again, ever consistent. Man, they're going to break if they have not already broken 10 points per game average in an 18-game series. That's kind of insane.
My only worry for Nemiga is I feel like they're going to be overconfident going into the grand final. Like they've dominated this lobby so aggressively. They sort of need to reset a little bit and know when they get to the grand final, there's going to be some heavy hitters that are waiting for them, and I've specifically been watching them this entire event going, all right, this is what they do.
How heavy are they going to be in the finals, you think?
How what?
Heavy.
I think they're going to be strong. I think they're going to be a big deal to work around, but I do think that a lot of the biggest teams in the lobby have been studying them nonstop during this event, and that could hurt them. Na'Vi, however, should be secured with only one game left to play. They're in a very good spot.
Also, 17 gaming with this one here, getting the points, getting the placement points, getting the kills that they needed. I love the third-party action onto Nemiga. Like, that was perfect timing for that. They got extra points here, but at this point here, there's a lot of teams we can count out. One of them on screen here.
It's that time of day where a lot of teams now realize, like, that's it for us, right? You can see it on the faces. You can see the frustration. One game left to play. Only 5 teams get to go to the grand final, and no one can be mad. No one can blame the circles. No one can blame unluckiness. They had groups. They had last stage, and this is where we're at.
And already now, the emails are ticking in with the fucking tickets.
Yep, it's beginning already. And the 8th, you fly out if you don't make the cut, and that is everyone's goal. You spend your entire life, we've been doing this for 8 years with the intention of taking the stage at the biggest event in PUBG, and that's what the goal is. You got to be in the top 5 to do it.
Yep.
Nemiga ends up in #1.
They did. Because of the 11 kills, they're fracking out on the eastern side. The Na'Vi only managed to get 3. They were like, okay, guys, this circle is ours. We're winning this game. We don't want to get too much of it. Hackator is still out there poking a little bit here and there. Made in Thailand still got 10 kills too. Big. It was kind of an interception of Rock. I would say what I was most impressed with was Rock was able to engage and defend that compound from 2 teams. Myth kind of slowly approached it, kind of poking them multiple times.
I sort of feel like Myth fed off of Na'Vi, was getting a lot of damage,
Yes.
but not taking any of those flushes. Myth ground their way in. All right, so here's the leaderboard as it stands as we go into the grand final.
Wow.
One more game to play before we decide. The teams in the gold, they go straight to the big show. Everyone else, they are done after this. So Namiga at 183, they're good. Azla, 134, 116 for Na'Vi. These teams should be just great. FN Pochon, 17 gaming at 12 and 10. But here's the chase pack. Rock looking strong at 100. FaZe 96. It's FaZe Sunday, right? It's Sunday. That could do great. Myth, who was at the bottom. They were in 15th place when they rolled up here today. Now they're in a doable push, and I did not think that was going to happen. Change the Game, who started the day in the top 5, has slid all the way to 9. Can I still count Gen G in this thing?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
They are in 10th again, though, so it could happen. No, I mean, this is too big. The 10-point lead down to Rock is massive. And honestly, if it's in my program, I feel like the current top 5 is actually what we're going to see in.
Yeah.
I want to talk a bit about this one, though. We are now with the going into the last match here. Do you think these 3 days, a set of 18 games, it's been kind of stressful for some of the teams, but do you think this is going to be a bit of a benefit for the teams? Because all the other teams had a 9-day vacation before we play on Friday next week.
I mean, I think there's a lot of teams on this list that needed a little more land time. They need a little more time to get comfortable here. I think that all of those teams did sort of step up and thrive, particularly when we talk about FN Pochon and Namiga, who need, I think, just more international LAN experience and confidence. They're going to look very good coming off of this. Azla Pentagram, who I've jokingly called Korean Purgatory because they tend to train top players but never go big themselves. To be here putting up those numbers is going to set them up for a good journey to the final.
Warzone has been just so ever impressive here so far, especially in the group stage. Also here, Haldo, the few clutch moments we saw from him was at the next level. And I think that's why one of the reasons we could actually put as a Pentagram in one of those kind of top 10 promises here. Looking at FaZe Clan, though, they've got to step up. They've got to have a banger last game to have a chance.
It's got to be a big game. FaZe Clan and Rock on the cusp. They've got to make the chase. 17 trying to lock up that position and say, we deserve to stay here. This is the moment. 5 teams advance to the grand finals of PGC 2025. 11 teams head to the airport, and their dreams are crushed. Their pursuit is over. This is the moment where rubber hits the road. The final game of the last stage. It's paper. It's matchup. Let's do it.
It all comes down to this moment. Can you manage to make it to the grand finals of PGC? Neck and neck all the way. 10 points being the line of demarcation between those that can go on right now and those whose dreams are dashed.
You nailed it, Matt. And this is a very Eastern playing path to find ourselves on this last map of the last stage. Just looking at a couple teams who have a real shot here to best 17 gaming, who will be going to their home of Picado. Can anyone do it? Can anyone get into that top 5 besides those who already sit there? I don't know. That's why we play the games.
Eastern lay of this plane path does mean it's going to be long drops for a couple of squads if they want what they normally get. You can see FaZe is going to go to Azahar. Namiga very close. Keep eyes on that as we move forward. Down to the south, Geeke on top of Azla Pentagram. We're going to get a dust up at the start.
Why not? Nothing to lose here for Azla. You're good to go. This is where you wanted to drop, so you are well within your rights to do so. Geeke going to challenge a little bit of fun here.
So while we're looking at this, remember the guys that are in the top 5 do have some breathing room. But if any of those, I would say 3rd, 4th, probably 4th and 5th go down early, wheels come off. Everything is about what you can get. Hammer doesn't quite get the damage, and instead Azla has a kind of a gatekeep onto Geeke, but Geeke has a lot more buildings to work with.
Yeah, it's going to come down maybe to PWD, what he's able to do. Looking for that headshot. Red zone, had it just crosshair placement, perfect. Gonna see Diffix. I don't think Diffix has seen him maybe, hard to say, but Diffix seems to be better safe than sorry here, as that's gonna be the go signal for Azza to collapse.
You're talking about keep an eye on PWD. That flank around the side could be big. Regroup Diffx under duress. He got some decent loot to start this, though. For an early firefight like this, it's enough to slow down the pacing. That's really what you want to do, is get the information. Shot it, big, gets the damage on one. Can he get the second? No, it's going to be Hal that takes down Diffix and gets a quick flush. Maybe Red Zone could get rezzed, but Spiro. Oh, the nade doesn't connect.
Oh boy. Danger now for Asla. They don't have anybody else to help here initially, so that allows Spiro to go in the door.
Oh, Hal clutches up. Big win needed. GK wants the points, but is in a ton of trouble now.
Now, it is all but over in this fight. A couple players left, though, so you never know for GK. Completely surrounded in a way, but there's PWD. He's got a Tommy. Is that the first Tommy gun to kill of the tournament? I don't know. Oh, the headshot there from Glass. He tries to re-challenge. He's shut down.
PWD. Can you get more out of it? It is now a full push. Red zone. The guy that was just rezzed. The last one up for Asla. Can GK manage to take down the guy that has just been the talk of the town, lighting up those fantasy leaderboards?
Yeah, I think everybody's going to be excited that he's making it to the grand finals, get to see what he's capable of against the best of the best. Flushes are coming in. PWD, 38 HP. And they know he's up there. They probably assume he's thinking about the res.
Not a lot of utility. This early game fight. Not a lot of nades, not a lot of other things to throw. Red zone hears the footsteps. He's got something to maybe slow down the pace just a bit, but GK knows the longer this goes on, there's the likelihood of a res. Information is going to get fed over from the down player in Glass.
Oh, cue to Quizzy. Oh. Thinking about the rooftop approach. Res is in.
Sneaky.
He could drop down onto the balcony there. I like it.
I don't even think Asla is expecting this. They're just locked right in onto that stairwell. And as the smoke dissipates, I mean, they did drop the smoke over here to slow down the approach, but I don't think that they know that he's here specifically.
I don't think they had a first aid for Howell. I mean, Red Zone found one or just went through all the bandies he had. Oh, so close. Damage exchanged both ways there.
Oh, Evan Pochon, they hear this fight. They're actually going to third party on top of this after getting their loot in a better situation. Now these two duos in way more trouble than they were just a moment ago.
I don't mind this at all from FN. Just need a few more points to feel really safe. You're in a good spot. Don't throw it away. Take the points where they come. And Breakers,
he's for GK though.
It's really bad.
Quizzy's on top of that building and he's going to get spotted by, I don't know. I don't know. Is it going to be enough? Just that little bit of cover up there. Breakers waiting. PWD does take down Red Zone. Quizzy, how aggressive are you going to play this? The longer you're up here, Breakers just showing so much patience. Howell wants to get this res.
Oh, look at Rex, though. Rex is snuck in underneath all of this. Just getting the info fed over. Red zone down. Howell, Saiga in hand. Still, that's an absolutely awful gun to go up against if you're GK.
The last one up right now for his squad as everybody from FN just waiting closer and closer. He's got utility prep. He wants to blind. GK realizing that that stairwell is a bit scarier than they thought it might be. Instead, going to see if they can double up. Just so patient. This is such a nerve-wracking moment for his squad. Does throw out the utility, both sides of it. Nobody stepping just quite yet. Howell just keeps peeking back the stairwell, but look at the double up from GK. Slow, steady wins the race until Rex decides he wants to get involved.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary for Rex. A lot of shotguns in the mix here. Yeah, he's got an MP5.
Oh, shots don't connect the way that he wants, and Asla is down, but that's fine. 136 still feels good.
Should be a grenade or something coming in here. Rex just waiting, sees Quizzy out there. Ooh, just shoots him in the leg, so the ruse is up.
Doesn't get the knock, but I mean, this is a very low economy GK with two members up and firmly surrounded. All four members of FN are just like, where you want to go, bro?
I was expecting maybe some frags to come in right away, but FN not in a position to really throw those, I guess. And Rex now trying a different angle, trying a different approach. AK for Quizzy. Again, not a bad gun to have in this spot. Rex being very, very cautious with the sound cues. That's why he is just inching forward. Doesn't want to give anything away.
The pacing on this is just so hard for GK. They don't have time to loop together. FN Pochon has just denied everything from them. It's just a matter of, are we going to see GK survive this long enough to maybe stall them out a bit? They're at 112, so they do have some breathing room down onto Rock, just 12 points behind them. And FN thought that they were going to come over here, get easy points really fast inside the circle, and GK's not giving them.
No, they're not. Not much else going on inside of the game right now, other than maybe Petrichor Road and Furia around Kantara having a bit of a scuffle, but everything else.
Myth has gone island?
Yeah, why not?
Baron? Oh, I think he's just in a glider watching everything. I was confused for a second.
Oh!
Finally connects, and that's probably going to be the go signal. I'm kind of surprised that FN isn't just like using their numbers advantage a bit more, but they know that there's a lot of shotguns in this stairwell probably waiting. Two different avenues of approach, and it looks like Breakers did make that leap over, so. All right, this is going to be really hard to try to hold together as everybody's on the hunt. Goes for aggressive peek around. Quizzy does get two, but the third's going to be enough.
Oh, the grenade was already prepped, though, when Rex got knocked. So a couple players go down, but the revive station is here, and assuming no one punishes this, FN should be able to get everything back up and sorted. Still a ton of time, still only phase one.
Oh, Arctics.
Oh, boy.
Do you even know? Nemiga, I respect the fact that they're not afraid to get a little villainized to make sure that they can get what they want. They want to send a message to everybody like, yeah, we're in last chance. It doesn't matter. Everybody in the grand finals needs to be afraid of us.
Everyone needs to suffer. Oh, that was a nice shot from Mejores. Got the knock on a Gedrox there from afar. Hit the headshot on the way out the door. And swooping in are the reinforcements. Rock as well. Swooping in towards this Orchid extended position. Only Mejores in there, and he's just like, nope, 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 nope. I'm by myself, cannot fight. Time to go and see what we can do. As a three-man the rest of the way through, onto the gas station they go. Revive in, no problem at all. There is Baron's glider.
See, baiting me out. He's just like keeping an eye on what's going on the island. I mean,
to be fair, he has gone out, like, out there before maybe, but I don't know. Anyway.
So, update on the circle. Of course, we just saw Rock a moment ago playing around Impala. They're the only ones that are over there. Other side of the rock cropping just to the southeast of Impala is going to be where FaZe Clan is at. Nemiga, pretty centered in the circle for now. Just to the south of them is Orchid that we saw. Navi's going to be playing Coastline as we are waiting for the new circle to pop and reveal where we're going to go. Baron's getting harassed, and we go back down Resort Los Leones again.
Oh, okay. Pretty similar feeling in terms of where that second circle is. Just in a different way to get there. FaZe of these points if possible. Somebody hit a headshot onto him. Not exactly sure who managed that. Here's that fight between Petrichor Road and Furia that's been kind of being flirted with for some time. Kawazine very weak. Bounce off the roof. Not going to be close. Kawazine heal in. Posa circling around a little bit here. Some players up on the roof for Petrichor Road. That's AZ. Ming Ming just going to try to hold the line, but Kawazine safely escapes in the vehicle.
I think that's all Furia was trying to do at that point, was they were committing in to maybe go for the compound. Instead, just get their guy back out, try to get back into the circle. Los Leones, again, a lot of the circle going to be consumed by Los Leones, moving down into a more open hillside over in the east. And Nemiga just doing it to whatever moves around them. Very little fear, and just think, we're going to have the Expendables and Nemiga in a lobby doing this together.
Can't wait. That's going to be so good. Ooh, Boostic. SLR tagging Layash into the knocked area. And, ooh, almost gets another. They're giving him some opportunities, but...
Oh, but behind this FaZe, they hear this firefight. Are they going to be the ones that third party?
Should. They absolutely need these kills. They're 14 points away from the cutoff currently as it sits. Gustav sees a player out there.
Looks like it's Gedrox. Nemiga not feeling as good as they did a moment ago, getting that third party coming after them. And with those shots, FaZe knows where this firefight is going. James is going to take down Boostic. They have all the information. How involved do they want to get with Gedrox down? Vard on one side angle, not connecting with enough shots the way he wanted. Retaliation shots come after Vard, and he has to retreat from the angle.
Oh, man, this would just be justice for FaZe based on what happened in the middle maps. If they could wipe Nemiga out here, get themselves closer into that cutoff. Gustav, oh my word, he took a headshot and he almost paid the price there. Has to move that Bronco around, wants to cut off the gas station angle.
FaZe caught up in this firefight now knows, yes, it's Nemiga, but on the flip side of that, Nemiga with already qualification points, eyeing up, seeing if they can get close to 200 right now. They're going to know exactly where FaZe is, and so FaZe can't relinquish. They can't really run. They're caught in that firefight. Petrichor Road spotting Rock as they rotate on the outside. Furia taking shots onto Petrichor Road, but Rock should have a pretty much open path over to the east. James, close range, right on top of Amiga.
Yeah, tough there. There's that back hallway in these gas stations, so you can get there and go for safety, but a reposition from Leosh goes behind the counter. Trying to hide it out up there, but here we go. A drive-by by Fex, taking down Hello My Bad. Ming Ming shooting up onto Rock. RBN stuck in no man's land.
James outside. Pushing into this building is really, really hard. Gedrock's still isolated on the outside. Bard could get some information, but James being the guy right on top of it all. Bard, can you get to the hillside? Can you provide enough support? How much is FaZe going to go for? They're committing everything. They want to deal with Nemiga. They want them gone. Sitting at 98 points right now. Eyes up onto 17's point in position.
They can deal with Gedrox there. Vard can win that battle, and he does. That makes this oh so much easier. FaZe doing a really nice job being diligent here. Using all the util now to try to clear some space. They've got room on the front door if they want to make a breach.
But Myth, here's this firefight. They're starting to take a couple of shots. It's going to be on FaZe to defend it on one side. Levante up, still alive, trying to struggle on the other side of this. Two members up. Levante, Leosh, each get one, but Fex pops off when he needs to.
Oh boy, oh. That grenade being thought about there. Looking for the final one, and Fex has it. Is Myth going to commit to this fight? They should.
Olympus, he's got vision, but not cleanly due to the way that the building is set up, the way that the cars are fortified on the other side of it. Made in Thailand, they can stretch their legs and get rid of FaZe, who's on the hunt 4 points to get ahead of them at the exact same time.
Oh, what a moment that would be for Myth, but they just can't quite get there in time, and the smokes and the cars afforded FaZe the opportunity to get those revives, to get the safety, and now Olympus knows it. Their window has closed to try to finish off FaZe. Now Baron sees a little bit.
I mean, FaZe is now 1 point ahead of Rock, still 9 points after 17. 17, he was playing in Los Leones. They're playing safe. They don't want to go down early. Made in Thailand. They know that they need another Rampage game yet again, and FaZe looks like they're not going to give it to them. Instead, they're going to cut east. But depending on how this wrap goes, there's very wide fields. Myth can just shift to the south, hold them out, and force FaZe to either go against Na'Vi or maybe FN Pochon.
Yeah, the scary thing here for FaZe is if they keep going on this wrap, they're going to have two very good teams that they're going to have to contend with. Center circle control for Liquid, high ground for Liquid. The Los Leones Mountains are theirs. They sit perched, watching the rest of this lobby, looking for opportunities to make their next move over. Likely to go to the east, depending on what the circle wants to do. Doesn't have to, but that's kind of what you're thinking right now.
Out of any squad that FaZe could bump into, FN Pochon being one of the contenders is massive. This is the thing, though, with Nemiga in that firefight, FaZe being stuck there. FaZe is coming into this entirely blind. That's going to put them in a very vulnerable situation as they go forward and could spell their doom. Nemiga might get that last stab at them in the end anyway.
Well, FN gets a little bit of damage into the backside of Hakatori while he's spamming away at Baron, but Baron says, oh, Sparking, you're up on that hill. What an opportunity for me. FaZe being very, very slow, but they're spotted. This is trouble. How much does Na'Vi want to commit to gatekeep them? Looks like they're just going to not really want to mess around with it, and they're going to keep rotating away.
That's too hard of a hill to push on foot into the defended position that Na'Vi has set. FaZe, I think, is starting to realize this. Jeem's going to stay behind, maybe do some covering. Where do you go next, FaZe, as we are about to get our new circle pop and reveal? We going fields, we going down to the hills to the south, we're going fields. Team Liquid on top of it all, Myth right next to him.
All right. Liquid could at least finish strong.
Oh, God.
Myth, Scappy getting pretty close. FaZe is driving right in the middle of Na'Vi.
They have to. There's this trench here that could get them into the circle, but they have to assume that maybe Na'Vi is going to be trying to leapfrog ahead of them. FN, other side of it. Again, FaZe has no idea what they're walking into, and they keep having to stop to try to figure out, okay, who's this side, who's where, who's taking shots, and it's slowing them down massively.
They're just going to have to dig their way through this trench forward. That's going to be one of the lines of attack, or they're going to try to backstab Na'Vi, as Na'Vi doesn't have great angles to get into this next circle. They're going to be harassed by Gen G on the way in, but Breakers has spotted FaZe, and he opens up. Vex, can you dodge this? You're trying, Breakers. Not really able to get get the damage.
Vex just has to make it down into the dip, and he gets it. Vex clutching up and dodging it as needed. This guy, he just continues to perform.
He's been stellar for FaZe today. Now Rex doesn't want them in this lobby. FN for sure, if they can parse together that this is FaZe, would love to just knock them out.
How could you even expect it out of anybody to be FaZe? FN now potentially having to chase FaZe behind them. Na'Vi was moving to their vehicles at roughly the same time, but guess what? FaZe, eyes on the circle, new contender in front of them, potentially changed the game.
Oh, this is bad for them because FN has waited. They're going to get potentially sandwiched here, our FaZe. They're going to take their time. They're going to check their backside, but Jeems all alone here. He's going to hear those shots, but Var gets Star-Lord.
Oh, that is big. Eyes now on the other side is the Na'Vi as well. Good shots coming up from Rex. Jeems is going to go down, but this was the tail end of FaZe. The other three members are up. Vex on top, looking down in to change the game. Firefighting starting to brew more and more as FN Pochan trying to get Zenith into a better spot.
FaZe is fighting three teams at once. Na'Vi on one side, CTG on the other, FN on their backs. And Vard scooping up what he can off of his fallen comrade. Zenith taking a little bit of damage. Breakers and Rex trailing, trying to get into some kind of position, but they've already done a lot of damage to FaZe. Even one player here, so precious for FaZe in this game.
They can't go down at any point in this. They can't have a member go down. They can't have anything. Otherwise, everybody's just going to jump on them. Na'Vi, other side of it, doesn't have a clean sight line to really do much yet, but Breakers is getting closer and closer by the second. The only benefit to it is the fact that it is going to be Gen.G taking shots. New contender coming in, of course, of all squads. It's going to be Rock. They're rolling in right next to change the game.
Rock has to take a good fight here if they want to keep themselves into any kind of contention. Grenade starting to do a little bit of damage, but BL knocked by Thunders. It's actually Sharper who's got an angle into that fight. Breaker's stuck in the blue, Amali in his way. Grenade's going to dissuade the rest from FN of getting involved.
Rock had to retreat with those couple of knocks. Instead, sends it right into the circle. Now trying to gatekeep out what's going on with Sharper. FN directly on top of FaZe. No options to move forward. Change the game. Going to be gatekeeping out what's going to be happening with FaZe. Na'Vi caught in an awkward spot. Myth on one side to the north, and Gen.G already entrenched in compounds ahead of them.
Got to feel like as FN, if you can knock FaZe out here, you're going to guarantee yourself that grand final spot because it's going to be really difficult for two other teams to get enough points to catch you. Let's see what they can do. Sharper right underneath Rock.
Another big fight potentially brewing as 17 still inside of Los Leones, but it's going to be Petrichor Road right on top of them. Little Ghost has stayed back behind, and Petrichor Road, if they go down, could feed over some very important points over to 17, presently sitting in 5th place.
Oh, CTG has just edged closer and closer to this fight, and they've got Breakers down. Shots starting to ring through. They're just going to put him in the car. Are they going to make a mad dash? What's the plan here for FN?
You just gotta go. You've got to run right next to change the game. It's the exact same idea that Rock had a moment ago, though, is the problem. FaZe eyes up right on top of what's going to be going on with Na'Vi. Extends back behind it. FN in a vehicle right next to what's going to be changed the game. But Sharper also now taking shots on the FN. They've just got to go through. Breakers slowly bleeding out, but they found some path to at least get through this first part. New issue, though, is now it's going to be Rock having some vision. And other side of this team, Liquid, they're caught in a fight to the north with Furia. That means that FN Pochan sneaks in.
Oh, FaZe is on their last legs. It's just Fex alive, and he has to go out into the blue to look for points. Just too much bearing down onto FaZe. The pressure that these other teams are creating, so intense. CTG trying to do what they can to get more points, trying to take good fights, but it is all crumbling here. No magic seemingly for FaZe on Sunday.
Rock also down to 2 casualties. While they did get into the circle, they need a lot of points to try to catch up. It's all gotten very quiet except for Fury now taking shots on 17. Change the game, gonna fight out Fex. And a valiant attempt in this last game, but in the end, going to go down in 6th place. FaZe eliminated.
Yeah, man, hell of a day for FaZe, but just too much going on. Oh, Sparking gets 2 big kills, but P90 there for Na'Vi. Kind of this is bad. 2 members of Myth separated from the other ones. These are isolated, easy pickup for Sparking. Yeah, that's no problem at all there for him. Just trying to finish on a high note. A lot of these teams, 17, the longer they go in this game, the worse it gets for Rock. Scappy with the Dragunov, trying to go for those long-range shots. Those are pretty far away and pretty tough to get the read on the bullet drop at that range. CTG, Tian gonna be able to get the first aid to go. Rex.
He's the one defending. Sharper now also going for the circle roughly the same time. Sparking spots out the other members from Myth, but they're already inside the circle. Na'Vi also has to push into Gen.G while this is going on. Change the game. Lines up against a Sharper, but let's not forget Rock could get some side influence in this firefight. And we go right on top of Team Liquid in 17. 17 feeling great right now.
Right on those rocks. Yeah, 17 can just hold the line. That might just be the nail in the coffin for everybody else below the cutoff line. Of any hope, a good grenade from Thunders. Catches Tian. CTG just 2 up. Trying to throw what they can at this, but Sharper looks hungry.
Change the game, trying to change the momentum, but it just will not work. Na'Vi's going to be even back behind them. Sharper, influential position. Oh, FN actually moves out of the safe zone and is eyeing change the game. They want to make sure to finish them off.
Yep, they know the leaderboard. They know the teams that are close. They'd love to just send CTG packing here. Smokes are going to be in their way momentarily. Hangy has enough of a hill there that he's not going to expose himself just yet. They're going to return fire. They're going to back Rex off momentarily. Let's see what else they can do. CTG just trying to cut up towards FN now. Oh, and it's kind of working.
Ooh, Na'Vi have to deal with this fight that's going on with Gen.G. They did send Hackatory very far to the southwest, but going to be very hard to push up this hill. Rex down with Tian. Change the game, has a path into the circle, and Zenith's got to go.
Yeah, Zenith is just like, well,
right at Sparking.
Oh boy, Santastico is hanging out in the open here. If he could have gotten that knock, could have been huge. Solds tries to get Escaluzia, but again, just not there in time. Thinks about the underhanded grenade. It's going to bounce too far to do anything at all. And Gen.G starts losing players out in the blue. They're kind of close to that next circle. Still Kiss up there. Sharper 4 up.
Evan Pochon is eliminated 116. 17 still being alive means the fact that this is maybe one of the, I guess, lines that we're looking for. Rock still with 2 members up, but not a lot that they can really get too involved in. Kiss just fighting to stay alive, but no, the valiant run from Myth ends here.
Still, hell of a performance from them. Still a lot to play for here, folks. There's still prize pool on the line. Every point, every placement you get will get you more money if you can get ahead. So there's going to be scrapping, fighting, clawing.
And we just entered that. I mean, 8 teams alive right now. Hackatory still back behind everything with change the game in front of him.
Oh, no. Oh, he gets spotted.
Oh, he takes a couple of shots and does manage to get the flush onto Hangy before going down. And, oh, Rock wanted that one.
Javi good to go. It's going to be miracles for anybody to catch 17 at this point. I mean, literal miracles.
They're just so fortified. They're the only ones that are playing to the west. And so it's just a matter of, can we see Rock find enough points? Change the game, going to be stealing the other side. Down below them, Rock has to be so annoyed. They know something's happening, and it's going to be Luke that spots out Gen.G's beam. Gen.G just trapped on the outside. Furia low ground, Team Liquid high ground.
I mean, sure, that's a P90, but what do you do with it? You're just absolutely screwed. Plus, the grenades are starting to connect there. One of them bounced funky, trying to use the smoke to get away. One short. That one's on point. Tosi done. Nope. Kizera actually comes into action there with an M249, just obliterates Sparking.
Finding just a couple more kills. It is neck and neck between Furia and Team Liquid. Let's not forget that, yes, top 5 qualifying is big, but also just your follow-up positioning on this leaderboard could have massive influences moving into next year and really setting momentum for yourself. Team Liquid on top continues to rain down those bullets, finding kills, but it feels like it's a little bit too late.
Well, Santastico does get the knock on the Thunders. Rock, still fight left in him. They're going for something. No, that's awful for Rock. Earth hits a beautiful grenade. The response goes a bit wide. Here goes the Molly as well. Oh, what a throw from Earth.
Oh, it changed the game. Just walks up and delivers to Tian right into Alo's face. 3 members still alive, but still Luke 12 back behind all this Furia. He doesn't have a clean path to get in the circle. Change the game, gets eliminated, and their slide stops themselves at 8th. But it means that Rock now just a couple of points back behind 17.
Yeah, the sucky thing for Rock here is it's likely to change into that 116 mark that they have to catch. And I don't even know if there's enough points left on the board. Luke in the blue, nothing left to do.
Sharper finding some action, actually really turning a section of this game back on its head, and just really 11 points behind Orchid right now, so fighting for a moral victory of themselves, but Santastico by himself in a lot of trouble. Rock Can you keep it alive? No, they're going to go down, and 17 fans rejoice as that cut line just getting further and further away. Team Liquid on last legs. Nade's going to connect, take them down 2. That means we do have, though, our top 5.
Exciting that our first PGS winners of 2025 have managed to get their way in. Lil Ghost ain't done yet. He catches Gizera trying to get the heck away from this cliffside. Posa right underneath. Is there going to be an angle? Still have Sharper to worry about here as 17.
17 survived, but can they also just finish this out with a victory to boot? Jedi drops down right in front of him. Zhao Wu having to fend. The other members having to deal with Furia right down below them, and they just can't seem to get the angle onto him. It's so dicey, so hard over here. Like, these rock croppings just stick out in awkward angles, and Furia knows it.
Yeah, just throw the stuns at him. Be annoying. But 7-7, just looking for that angle. It's tight. Grenade, or it's just a stun up there. Doesn't really bother him none. And Furia trying to make the best of this, trying to get uphill, trying to find a way through. Here comes a ton of stuns. That's just all distraction for Posa to get up there. Kawazine as well, in a good position to strike. There he goes.
Tries to get it, doesn't get the knock. He's now revealed. He's just spinning around, though. Zhao Bei finally gets the knock onto him. Gizera low life down below all of the Sharper, though. They hear the firefight, and they're on the move.
Here we go. Got a P90 in hand, too, for Jedi. Xiao Wu gonna make sure nothing left to do for Kawazine. Gets lit up, though. Has to back off for a moment. Heals attempted. Furia just gonna take their edge of the circle and claim it and seemingly wait this out a little bit longer. Hope that 17 and Sharper do some serious damage to each other and they can swoop in at the end.
Sharper could avoid being in that 16th place position if they win this firefight, but they're going to have to do it against a squad now firmly qualified for the grand finals. Furia down in the lower sections of it, 96 points, so close yet so far, feeling the exact same way about just getting on top of this rock.
Yeah, it's just going to be a line down the middle here, kind of close to Sharper more so than 17 where the center dot's going to go. So that's going to be really where you're looking. Maybe just on top of this flat rock, it looks like, or right next to it. It's about where it's going to end. So just some peak battles, kind of almost a little bit like an Everest finish in a way. Got a lot to work with.
Very true. It's going to be a bit of a king of the hill. Is just get your armor situated, get everything ready for this next firefight, because there are still a couple of stakes to be had. You know 17 would love to finish out the group stage with a victory. Sharper wants to get out of that bottom spot. Furia just wants anything. They just want to get on top of some section. They just want to get close enough to at least get involved in the firefight.
Yeah, just let us have some fun at the end. Look at the util here for 17. Tons of smokes and stuns, some mollies to boot. A few of those for Sharper as well. So this could get pretty obscured here in terms of what players are allowed to be seeing at the end of this, because there's 26 smokes left in people's bags. They could all get used, and it could just be a giant smoke ball on top of this mountain.
All going to come down to aim. We saw Fury that was playing to the northeast of the circle, Sharper to the southwest, and then 17, the beneficiaries of Los Leones, not having to burn as much just to get into this stage, jumps in. Now with this high ground, a lot of control, but Jedi is getting closer and closer by the second.
Yeah, that P90 is what is really, really scary. Throw the gas can, why not?
Did you see how fast he was swapping between, like, what was happening there with scopes? But on top, Posa finally starting to get a point where he can get involved, and that could be a big problem for Sharper. Other side of it, Posa going for the flank. Gizera spots out Zhao Bei. That spins it back around a bit more. 17 on top. 7-7 takes down Gizera.
Can't believe he found an angle there. That opens the door for Jedi to try to take some space, and he's done so. P90 feeling confident.
This is so hard to bold peek those smokes into what you know are a ton of players still up. Gonna get dicey. Zhao Wu actually gets the knock on to 7-7 with the Molotov. Big problems. Molotov doesn't really go the way that they want. Earth trying to get it. Jedi just runs in, starts picking them all up.
All right, let's go. Earth on top of 17. They're down and out. Posa just trying to get any heal, anyway, anyhow. Gets another point. Earth on top of him has a phenomenal angle here. Just need to be patient as Sharper.
Blue zone back behind Posa. Sharper on top. Finds the victory, finds the kill, and a big ending for Sharper.
Hey, you gotta like that. You give the home fan crowds something to cheer for, and they'll get on their feet for Sharper. Yeah, they're not going to make it, but it's smiles all around. A nice way to finish off your PGC here in Bangkok.
Yeah, you can see smiles. They know, hey, at least we got the one at the end. That's going to feel good. But up on top, we do have our final 5 that are going to be cresting, making their way right into the PGC Grand Finals.
Insane stuff today from 17. Big smiles, well-deserved. Loved that we're going to get to see every PGS winner from this year in the Grand Finals because 17 was able to qualify. And yeah, I mean,
disappointment for squad.
I know, man. I mean, Kurt, you know, you think back to last year, they were so close, second at PGC, and they can't get into the Grand Finals this year.
A lot of squads so close yet so far. This format has been amazing to watch, but the mental toll it can take on you if you can't quite get there to qualify. Other side of that, Rock managed to make it so late in that game, but it was just too late. Points were just too far ahead, and 17 getting in, opting to play Los Leones and play it safe, rewarded heavily.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's tough to see, you know, a legend of the game like Purdy Curdy. Just nothing left to do. Hold your head. And Furia as well made a go of it here at the end of today, but just didn't have quite enough in the tank. Just too many teams a little bit better.
When it comes down to the last game, it's just so hard to play from. It takes so much out of you. You can see these guys just not wanting to deal with it. And another set of heartbreak that happened earlier and we didn't have a good chance to talk about with FaZe. This is a squad that they had opportunity, but man, Namiga just wasn't going to let it happen.
No, Namiga was on a mission, and for whatever reason, didn't want to see it go through, and a lot of dejected faces, tough games across the board.
I don't care, man. These guys have been trying hard all year.
Yes.
And if you're going to laugh at people for crying or feel bad at this after you've tried so hard and got so freaking close.
Oh, people don't
Screw
understand.
you, man.
People don't understand how hard this is, how much these players put into this, how much it means to them, and you can see it right now on stage. It is so close for so many teams and players, and
it's so hard too.
It is.
Because you know that everybody in the audience is watching. You don't get your moment to yourself. You just have to share your pain with the entirety of the audience, and it is written on all of these players' faces.
It's abysmal. There's not many other feelings in the world that are worse for these players. This is everything they work for, everything they try for. You got to respect the effort they put in today.
Finally, we get it. Sharper with the victory, and our top 5 secure.
You know, sometimes the event doesn't go the way you want, but it's always nice to get a chicken dinner. The fans here ecstatic to see Sharper take home a chicken. They came out in droves despite them being in 16th place to start today. They're going to finish roughly in the same spot, but it is a moral victory here at the end as we get to celebrate them, but we also got to see the Heartbreak tour up on that stage. It's the hardest part of PUBG.
It was, and you know what? They were cheering on them like they got into the grand final, but it was just for that chicken dinner. That's amazing. I love the support we see here from the fans in the fan zone, and I'll say this though, what a amazing game to finish things off.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much impact, multiple sides around here. It's great. Also saw Levante have some fun, but this whole Namiga phase.
Yep. This mess right here.
This mess outside in the blue, then mid pulling up, trying to have an impact there. And then FaZe actually managed to get out. All 4 alive, got into a great fight, had an impact on FN as well. If they engaged in an FN fight, they might have had a better chance.
I think for the big takeaway here was 17 took a massive risk. They chose to play this very defensive.
Right.
They locked into a spot in the town, and they said, we see this fight going on. We're going to have faith that they all hurt each other. Because I do think that was a risk. If 17 had sat there and, say, FaZe had pulled off that push on FN or vice versa, they might be going home instead. So risk-reward was, I think, the name of this endgame. And it really did come down. I respect how FaZe pushed in there. They knew they needed some points. FN was not walking away from a challenge. A lot of teams here willing to sort of step up and say, this is my chance to go to the grand final. And I think that to me was the story. Teams like Rock, who sort of played that sort of defensive strategy, didn't take hold of it at the very end.
No, there are only just 2 guys left. If they were a 4-man strong on the southwestern side, they would have been in sharper spot. Could have taken the whole thing home, though. I'll say this, though. 17 Gaming.
Yep.
The way that they controlled the western side all this way from this, like, they locked that spot in safely here.
They absolutely did a really nice job with that. And I will say, even when it came down to that Molotov getting shot at the very end and them dropping down, 17 played that as clean as they possibly could, pushing here into the end game. It was fun, it was exciting, but at the end of the day, it was heartbreaking as we see some of the biggest names in PUBG esports with heads held low as they have to head back to the airport.
Yeah, and on top of that also, you know, we saw even some of the 5 teams being so happy to be able to make it to the grand final. You know, they're going to have a little bit of a time off and prepare for that finals, because the other teams, they've already had tons of time to prepare here. They're going to be able to come in with kind of warmed up situation for the whole team, and I think that's going to have a little bit of a benefit.
I do think. I'm also glad, you know, 17 made it. That means we have a Chinese team representing us in the grand finals. I was a little worried for a second we might lose a whole region going into this one, so they do make that pass. Very big deal. But like you said, all of this was to determine who goes to the big show, the one that matters most. And I think that extra experience for the top 5 teams will matter to them. Frustrated, you can see it with that end game. They need to clean that up if they're looking at the grand final.
Yeah, they should have won it. That's the kind of game that you need to win if you want to be a PGC champion.
And I like I mean, honestly, I like the frustration. He looked at his team and he said, sure, we qualified, but that was a game we should have won. We need to have that mentality going forward.
Yeah, for sure. Some heartbreak here as well. Happiness, actually, it is.
Was that joy?
That's joy.
Joy from the past and the stress, but like so many emotions pouring out of these guys. But for me, it's no Miga. These guys don't have emotion pouring out because they knew they were locked in for a very long time. They came into today feeling very strong. They will advance, and we see Purdy, other players, Gen.G struggling. They put their whole year into getting to the next step, and to have that ripped away is absolutely nightmare fuel.
Also, winning one of the games would have been huge, you know, like one more in the end.
Well, it's time for us to check in on the stage. We're going to send it over to Pan as she talks to Rex.
เรียบร้อยไปแล้วนะคะสำหรับ last stage ในวันสุดท้ายแล้วก็เราก็ได้ทราบแล้วว่าทีมไหนที่ได้ไป grand finals กันนะเอาปรบมือให้กับเขากันหน่อยเราก็ส่งกำลังใจกันมาเนาะนะคะตลอด3วันที่ผ่านมากับ last stage นี้นะคะและแน่นอนตอนนี้เราก็อยู่กับ Rex นะคะจาก Evan Pushon a lot of your fans over here นี่นะคะเพียบเลยนะคะAll right, so let's talk about this successful. So I would like to say congratulations that you're reaching to the grand finals, that you climb up all the way from the lower position today and secure the spot with a strong push at the end. So how does this qualification feel to you?
일단 그랜드 파이널 진출 축하드립니다. 그리고 오늘 하위권에서 끝까지 올라 끓이고 일단 진출하게 되셨는데 이 결과에 대한 소감이 어떠신지 여쭤봐도 될까요?
일단 되게 많은 점수를 먹어야 올라간다는 거를 알고 있었어서 오늘 무조건 잘해야겠다 생각했는데 경기력이 되게 좋았던 것 같아서 만족하고 있는 하루인 것 같아요.
I know that I have to gain a lot of points in order to reach the grand finals, and I think that our performance today was good, so I'm very happy.
Yeah, sure. So in these 3 days, it has been such an intense 18 matches. So do you feel that Evan has shown your best form and how you will maintain this in the grand finals?
일단 3일 동안 8매치 정말 치열한 경쟁이 이뤄졌는데 그리고 혹시 오늘의 FS 상위권 그 최상의 컨디션, 최상의 경기력을 보여줬다고 생각하시나요? 그리고 혹시 이 흐름을 어떻게 그랜드 파이널까지 이어갈 생각이신가요?
최상위 경기력은 아닌데 되게 오늘 좋은 경기력이었다고 생각해서 이 좋은 경기력을 유지하려고 해야 될 것 같아요, 저희가.
I think today is not the best performance that we have, but we have shown like some good form, and I hope that we can keep it into the grand finals.
Wow, so we cheer for that. And here's a lot of fans here. Do you have something to tell them?
여기 팬분들도 많이 계시는데 팬분들한테 한마디 또 부탁드립니다.
일단 되게 저희 경기력이 들락날락 좀 많이 편차가 심했는데 그럼에도 좀 못한 날도 있었을 텐데 꾸준히 항상 응원해 주셔서 너무 감사하다는 말씀 드리고 싶습니다.
So our performance have ups and downs, but even on the bad day, the fans were still cheering for us. So I hope that they will keep cheering for us into the grand final as well.
All right, so everyone, let's cheer for Evan Potion. Thank you, Rex. Thank you so much. Let's take a rest. Wow, let's cheer for them. And all right, and someone's birthday here. Everybody, let's sing together to welcome him. So let's welcome Xiaobai from 17 Gaming. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Xiaobai.
谢谢大家。
All right, so it's such a good start for you here, and I'm just like to say before, like no matter what, we'll get to the grand finals is what is tough battle. So, but you finally grabbed the spot in the CN region at the very last minute. So, how are you feeling right now, and what the atmosphere in your team?
恭喜你们，成为中国赛区第一支进入决赛的队伍，然后这是一个非常好的开始，对你们来说，你现在感觉如何？或者说你们现在团队什么样的氛围？
首先今天对我来说很重要，又是我生日，又是我们17淘汰赛最后一天，但是我们也做到了，进入了总决赛。然后我们17每届 PGC 都进了，所以说我们也很有自信能进入这次 PGC。然后我们团队氛围一直很好的。 享受 Pubg 的比赛，享受线下大舞台。
Yes, today is my birthday and also our qualifying in the grand final. We will keep enjoying the games and keep enjoying the stage. 17 Gaming always make us the grand final, so this will be no exception this time.
All right, so this PGC has been quite unstable for your team, but everyone is really impressed by your fight until the last minute spirit. So how do you guys handle the pressure and still manage to make things happen?
这次 PGC 的比赛对你们来说非常的艰难。请问你们是如何处理这种压力的？
我们其实也没什么压力吧，就是奔着每届的总决赛去打，享受比赛。
Actually, we don't have too much pressure. We just keep enjoy the games and the stage and try our best.
All right, thank you so much and happy birthday to you, Xiaobai. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Alright แล้วก็ตอนนี้นะคะเราก็ต้องบอกว่าเหลือเวลาอีก3วันเนาะหมายถึงว่าเหลือเวลาสำหรับแกรนด์ไฟนอลนะคะที่เดี๋ยวเราจะต้องไปเจอกันตอนนี้ก็จะพักเบรกอยู่ประมาณสัก 3-4 วันเนาะจะไปเจอแกรนด์ไฟนอลกันตั้งแต่วันที่12จนถึงวันที่14ธันวาคมนี้นะคะที่พารากอนนั่นเองยังไงก็สามารถที่จะไปเชียร์กันได้นะคะกับทีมที่เข้ารอบนะคะแล้วก็สำหรับในช่วงนี้ส่งต่อนะคะให้กับ analyst ของเรา over to you our analyst Yay!
Happy birthday. You wouldn't know he was happy about it by his face, but he seems happy about qualifying for the grand final as they should be. Top 4 teams in match 18. You see 17 up there. Liquid, Sharper, Furia. They put up a fight. There was a world where Liquid and Furia both could have pulled it off with a massive run, but it just was not to be.
It was not to be. And as I said before we got into that, I think that lead, that 10-point lead down to that 6th place was too massive, too strong, and also especially with how 17 played it so safe. And that's really been the story of today, Steve. It's been the safe and secure place. And that's also why we see such a lower kind of cutoff than we expected.
You're right, because that 10 points doesn't make it insurmountable, but it puts so much pressure on the chase teams to have to go look for those fights. FaZe couldn't dodge. They couldn't try to rotate south. They had to go in there and get those kills if they wanted to go to the final show. And so that 10-point buffer really did mean the world to 17 as they went into it. And then FN obviously ends up in 5th. But a big shout out. I don't want to say it's an honorable mention, but it does feel a little bit like they struggled in this stage. But to come out and get a chicken dinner at the end has to feel good, at least for them and the fans.
A winner chicken dinner, you know, even in the set of 18 games, it's still hard.
It's hard
against these 16 teams, like or 15 other teams. And I mean, it's not a participation medal, but still, it's a case of, okay, we can do it. And amongst the chaos, they were able to do it. They're able to pull it off, especially everyone expected 17 to win this game. Like, they had the upper hand, there were 4 guys alive, they had the better terrain, but the 16 smokes to go with for the big game, and it didn't really pop off.
I think you nailed it on the head, though. It's a team that is not expected. They don't have insane amounts of international experience to dominate here at this event, and to get a chicken dinner out from under some of the biggest names in the world, some of the most famous players in PUBG history, has to get you excited, has to mean the world. So to see Earthzapalui come out with this man of the match is going to be very meaningful to him and his fans, despite the fact that they will finish down at that bottom of the leaderboard. The end game was exactly what we expected it to be when it comes to a last stage. Yes, some of the top teams were already sort of waiting in the wings, but it was a battle for that big 5, and it seems like all 5 of them really deserved, or proved they deserved, to be in the big one.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a stacked lineup, though.
It's huge.
It's going to be insane. Like, those 5 teams, and you know what? As much as I've seen, you know, Namika do so many great things, my expectations for them going into it, even here, the last match, Fex really trying his hardest, both in terms of damage and kills. Once we get into this, Namika trying and getting into this final here, is it going to be too much for them, you think? I feel like these 18 games and the confidence you're going to be able to grab.
The thing is, they were so close to making the cut in the group stages that it does make me think, oh, it's not just a random glow up for the last chance. That said, I also think these 18 games here will give them a confidence bump that is going to mean a lot. And remember, those teams that did advance through group stages, they're going to be cold. They've been out 4 extra days. That's 8 days off for those teams.
That's crazy, right? Sure, some of them have been to PC cafes. They've been at some of these different boot camps, right? So it's been huge. But Nemiga, look at that buffer. FaZe getting 2nd most kills. The placement points did not follow, Steve. But look how close all the other teams are. We're talking 7 points difference only from 5th place in terms of total kills up to 2nd place. That is so close.
But it's so hard to see for FaZe because the other teams that are on that list with them are the ones that are advancing, right? So you're like, we know that we put the kills up. We know that we have the fight chance. We just didn't find the placement, whatever that is. I hope it speaks to a return from a strong FaZe roster in the future, because this team did perform, especially after getting gutted for your Kirixi earlier this year. They bounced back.
Yeah, they did. Vod actually proved himself quite deeply here, and I'm a little bit sad they didn't get more time in this tournament here, one more time in the PGC kind of setting in the final. They always tend to get that top 5, top 8 situation, right? So that'll be huge. 18 points for Sharp is not going to have too much of an impact here. The true points that mattered here was the 9 points for 17 to be able to defend that.
Yep. They were able to, and FN Pochon was able to put up 4 more points to feel a little bit of a buffer. Team Liquid tried, Furia tried, and if there's a world where one of those teams was out and they had gotten both points to one side, they might have made it. But here is who will be going out of the last stage qualifier. Nemiga, Osla Pentagram, Navi, 17 Gaming, and FN Pochon will be the 5 teams that advance from this stage to go to the grand final.
And you know what? It's more than 10 points per game for Nemiga. And instead of 18 games, is absolutely insane here. Osla Pentagram did not have the best day so far, but still, that 100 points break yesterday was the foundation we were talking about. They're able to build, to step up to that podium today.
And the fact that the top 5 teams didn't just win by a little, they won by slamming the door on everyone below them, says these are the 5 teams that deserve to go the distance, to go to the grand final of PGC 2025. They are the ones who will be joining our other teams who made it in the group stages. We'll show you in just a second all of the teams that will be playing in the grand final. This is your grand final for PGC 2025. One of these 16 teams will be lifting the trophy, will be immortalized both in and out of game.
All right, quick first thought, who wins?
Who wins? I mean, you got to go Twisted Minds just based on the most dominant year I've ever seen. But honestly, Virtus Pro's ascent into this event has been crazy. And Falcons finally didn't finish third. I mean, this could be anybody's run.
It could in PGC.
Expendables, defending champions, also looked insane in their group.
There's so many
It's going to be
favorites
so
coming
awesome.
into this one here. Freaks, if it wasn't for the kind of last half of the year, I would put them in one of my favorites too.
Yep.
Like, they were so consistent at the start of the year. They're looking so strong.
Is Namiga a favorite for you now?
No.
No. Okay, they didn't get it to you just yet.
They did not dominate as much in the group stage as they did here, and I think that is due to the fact that we're missing 5 fantastic teams from this group. And then we're going to be putting that together, gluing it together, and we're going to have an absolute monster of a lineup of 16 teams going into this final here. And I'll say this, I'm super excited for it. We're going to be starting on Miramar.
We're starting on Miramar. We're playing 18 games, and it starts on Friday. It is going to be crazy. Bigger stage, together with PUBG Mobile. Cayennes for the MVPs. The amount of things that we have available is going to be incredible. So make sure that you do not miss this, because I can guarantee it's going to be the best PUBG of the year. Now, it does look like we were able to get a special guest to be joining us here on stage. They're prepping him up. Are we ready?
We're ready, maybe?
Steven, why don't you send him up here? All right. He can't hear me. He's gonna. Hollow My Bad is going to be coming up. Go ahead and send him up. We can hear him already, so we may as well.
We somewhat hear him.
All right, come on, Hello My Bad. Get
Hello,
up here.
welcome,
you can stand
welcome.
right here in the
Stand
middle.
Good job. Congrats.
Congratulations.
Much.
All right, so these guys fought and dominated here in the lobby. Martin, I know you got some good questions.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, this you guys already made it yesterday. The plan for today, was it to focus on someone and deny someone? Talk us about what your plan was for today.
I mean, our plan was today to just keep securing points, because we were about to make like a record of 18 games like Twisted Minds did before. So we were just trying to do our best still to confirm our spot.
Awesome. Fantastic. And congrats. This was amazing to see. More than 10 points per game, more than a win average is just crazy. Do you have some questions?
Did you guys feel any kind of additional stress? Your team doesn't have a ton of international experience at this level. So tell me what that's like coming into an event for the first time with this many eyes on you.
I mean, of course, we're like full of emotions since it's our first experience.
Right.
We were like really close all the time before, making it into lands, but sometimes it was like some sad stories.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But for now, we're just confident in ourselves. We were doing lots of work on our team play, on our like circle feeling, and that's how we're gonna keep going.
Fantastic.
Do you guys still feel the stress of eyes, or do you think that this has sort of removed that from you? How do you like, and do you feel confident
We're not
going
stressed
into
at all. We're like really comfortable since the community is good. Like we just feel our game.
That's fantastic. And if you continue that into PGC of the grand finals, like it doesn't matter if it changes. That's going to be good for you guys. You guys look so strong, and honestly, even in the group stage, you surprise everyone. So just focus on that, and I think, honestly, that's going to be amazing.
Thank you so much.
So congrats on an absolute massive performance, and congrats on making it to PGC Grand Finals.
In fact, you earned the chance to say anything you want to your fans, so take a second, address them if you'd like.
We have fans online, so I'm just going to say, guys, keep cheering for us in finals. We're Nemiga Gaming. We're going to do our best to perform well for you.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for stopping by. Congratulations again. I'll send you out that way. Great to hear from. I'm glad, and I think he brought. There were a lot of eyes on him. It was a tough. What are they going to do when they get to this level? And I think a lot of people were surprised by how strong they came out.
Yeah, for sure. And Hello My Bad himself been through the grind. I've been grinding for years in both Americas and in Europe, right? And it's awesome to see this finally paying off here. Obviously, Levante, huge performance from men individually, but as a team here, I really love how they approach everything. Also, the mindset coming to like, there's no focus. We just want to try to break some records. We want to try to see the best here and try to play the game as we kind of want to, right? Because that also matters. If you focus on playing the same game, this is the best practice you could possibly have going into that grand final.
All right, it's about time for us to wrap up. We'll be back in a couple of days. I get one final thought from you before we log out. What's it going to be?
Honestly, these next 4 days off here is the most important prep time for all these teams. If they haven't been watching the games from here or at home, they're going back to absolutely watch and analyze everything they can to get ready for finals.
All right, guys, you know the finals are coming up, and on Friday we return for the grand final of PGC 2025, where the best 16 teams in the entire PUBG world drop into Bangkok to make the statement they deserve to lift the trophy. You do not want to miss the action. Get ready, get set, and we're going to go on Friday, so I expect you to be there. And now I will also say I want to make the people who made this possible a shout out. The most important to our sponsors.
It's BenQ Sawi, our official gaming monitor partner here at PTC 2025.
And a shout out to TT Racing, where you can level up your game with TT Racing's next level ergonomic chairs and desks engineered for unbeatable comfort and razor sharp focus.
AWS also joins us as an official partner here at PTC.
And finally, OP.GG, the only way to overpower your game. All right, well, that is it. We thank them. We thank the players. We thank you for spending your time with us. On behalf of myself, Martin, James, Paperthin, Poro, Matrim, Toby, the entire broadcast team, everyone at Krafton, and the players themselves, thank you so much for watching. And until we see you again, play more PUBG.
Just up against the wall and now we're swinging. Tried to silence all our screams, but I was singing. You thought we'd go along with everything you say. I'd rather take my honor straight to the grave. Destruction's calling your name. You woke the sleeping giant, now we're bringing the pain. There ain't no stopping this train. You lit the spark and now it's burning to flame. Let's get fired up, let's get rowdy. Let them feel the burn, get fired up, let's get rowdy, let's go. You will never bring me down. 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 Bone pushing us past the breaking point. You know you just give us energy, electricity. I promise you will see the generation coming. Unity, prepare the eulogy and watch the mighty fall as the people stand tall. You will never bring me down. 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 You will never bring me down.
Congratulations ครับน้องนะ
The pressure's building, I can feel it coming up. The tension's rising, can't you see we've had enough? There's no controlling us, we're never backing down. The revolution's coming, you can hear the sound. Destruction's calling your name. You woke the sleeping giant, now we're bringing